Welcome in 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray with you again for the remainder of the night here on the Sports Hub. And there's a lot to get into. Patriots full pads today, the first day of the year. The smell of sweaty pads, huh? Those shirts are going to smell lovely after today. But we'll get into the first day of padded camp. The Red Sox looking to go 3 out of 4 tonight in Sacramento. And the trade deadline is looming. Craig Breslow spoke today, and you'd be interested to know who's on the table and, well, maybe who's not on the table. And it didn't really indicate that anybody was not available. So we'll find out as the trade deadline approaches Monday. That's the day. Do the Red Sox make moves? They better. A lot to get into. We got in or out. Brian Barrett of The Ringer will join us 8:20. Mike Kadlick, CLNS SI, will join us 9:20 tonight. Skaz is here, and we're here with you at 617-779-0985. Also on YouTube as well. You know how to do it, everybody. You go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Up. Boom. You're in there. Some new folks are in here tonight. Excalibur, Seaside, Ryan, Brendan Levangie, hello, sir. Pete in Kentucky, hello, sir. Never heard of you guys before. Bros Nation, hello. And join us. All you got to do is go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and you will see it right there. I like to use the remote on the old Xfinity and just say YouTube 98.5 The Sports Hub. And then it just goes right to it on the TV. Or you can just say, Alexa, play 98.5 The Sports Hub. But I hope nobody's went off right now and you're mad at me. But that was kind of the plan. Anyways, a lot going on here tonight. A lot to get into. And the Patriots' first full day of pads. And Christian Gonzalez was there. He showed up. He was out there. First, early take. Didn't think they should be out there in the wet conditions today. Just my own opinion. My own opinion. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I went over the laundry list of people that were hurt in San Francisco already. Somebody got hurt in Cincinnati already. And the last thing this team needs is some sort of camp injury that could hamper their season. And Christian Gonzalez is one of them. So although they were out there in the wet conditions, I give Christian Gonzalez a lot of credit. Why would you even... He could be very selfish, and I think we would all understand, by the way. We could be very selfish about Christian Gonzalez. He could be. I'm not going out there. Are you kidding me? I'm just going to wait for Witherspoon to get his deal. Which sounds like it's delayed now because there's new ownership when it comes to the Seahawks. So, Christian Gonzalez is doing a couple of things. I have heard that he wants to be a captain this year and really wants to be considered a leader on the team. The other thing is maybe he just knows he'll get the money. Maybe he's banking on himself to, if they don't come to an agreement this year, he'll get more money next year. Whatever it is, he was out there, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy about it. He could have been selfish. He wasn't. And it's great for the New England Patriots, right? One of their best players is out there on the field, and if you remember a year ago, first day of pads, he tweaked his hamstring. It bled into the regular season. There was talks about could he be holding out because of contract, whatever. There's also the Mike Vrabel stuff about soft tissue injuries. But Christian Gonzalez was out there, and, man, he had a good camp. Pair of pass breakups, gave up a catch on a perfect throw from Drake May to A.J. Brown, which we'll get to in a minute here. But it shouldn't be overlooked now. Christian Gonzalez is there. Day one. Now we should all expect him out there every day. Even Vrabel said it himself, expects him to be out there. And that's the story of camp, would you say? Robert Kraft going into the media, negotiating a deal where one guy doesn't want to go through the media and do that. There's a lot here, but I don't think it's a story because he was out there today. Now, one other story I think people are trying to make is that A.J. Brown has struggled in camp, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's learning a new system and, just the camaraderie and, trying to get a rhythm with a quarterback. That's all there. But the Drake May to A.J. Brown show today, oh, yeah, it showed chemistry in the red zone particularly. Short routes, inside out. It was great. So those two storylines, Kayshon Boutte continues to be great, and we'll get into the competition that there is at the wide receiver, or is there? And it's a trade still in the works. Mike Vrabel talked about that. Kayshon Boutte gave some thoughts about that question as well. But I think the two storylines of camp have been, will Christian Gonzalez be there? Will Christian Gonzalez show up? And will they pay him the money? Well, he's there. Kraft said he's going to pay him the money, so is this no longer a story anymore? The other thing is, last year, Drake May struggled the first couple of days of camp, right? He struggled. He had interceptions. Not the case this time. Now it's, is A.J. Brown going to work? Will A.J. Brown have the season? Things look pretty good today when it came to them. And speaking of Drake May, I saw this today from Warren Sharp of Sharp Analysis. And he just tweeted it out, and I think it's worth remembering. They had a rookie quarterback in 2024. Alex Van Pelt was the offensive coordinator. They had the cheapest wide receiver group in football. The likes of KJ Osborne and Tyquan Thornton and Pop Douglas. Right? Remember all that? Do you know how you support a young quarterback? You bring in a real offensive coordinator. And Josh McDaniels showed that last year. And now they have the number 9 most expensive wide receiver group in football. And now you've surrounded them with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs. And right now, Kayshon Boutte's still there. You've drafted running backs. You've drafted tight ends. And you've drafted the offensive line. But the old Alex Van Pelt days, not spending money on wide receivers, boy, have times have changed. And now the expectations for Drake May, they're there. People think that he should continue to rise. I do. And I've already said Super Bowl or bust, and sure, why not MVP or bust if we really have to? But what I expect out of Drake May this year, don't turn the ball over, don't fumble the football, and now that you have guys like A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs, you should be able to lean on those guys in big down situations, 3rd and 8, etc. I think the running game will be improved, and I do want to get into that later. Who will lead the team in rushing this year? It's one of the topics we'll get into tonight, but no doubt about it. Things have changed from the rookie year of Drake May to year 3 of Drake May. They got their offensive coordinator. They got multiple receivers. Super Bowl or bust is still on after the first day of pads. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I do want to get into what else Mike Vrabel said today. He gave us an update on Akis and the Kayshon Boutte stuff. I feel like is a pretty interesting case. And one coach that was there is no longer. We'll tell you who that is. We'll get Skaz's thoughts as well. Again, you can call in at 617-779-0985. Join us on YouTube as well. Just go to youtube.com. You can search 98.5 The Sports Hub. You pumped for the Pats? And we will get into the Red Sox and what's going on tonight. I'm still waiting for that lineup to come out. Sonny Gray is on the mound, hoping to have one of his sunny days. We'll leave it there. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
So that's what we did.
We saw Harold out there, who is...
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got you all night long here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. That was Mike Vrabel giving an update on Gabe Akis, who I'm going to take that as a positive. Sometimes when I hear things, I have to then somehow... my senses take over, you know. It could be my hearing goes right to my belly or right to the sniffer sometimes. That one didn't smell to me. Gabe Akis could be back sooner than Harold Landry is good news because Harold Landry is on the PUP list. He could come off at any time, but could also start the year on the PUP and not come back for 4 games. So I will take that as it's a good thing regarding Gabe Akis coming back. And I'd like to see him out there, of course. At this point, I think he needs to get up into a little bit of shape, or he's maybe working off some injury that he had or whatever. But Gabe Backus is getting closer to participating in training camp. Quote, I would say he's closer to return to play element than we would, and we will continue to talk about it. But I also like to get a good look at some other guys. Maybe this is what they have the opportunity to do. Keep hearing that Backus continues to progress. So you guys may hear about Gabe Backus and how they reached up to get him, or they wanted Gabe Backus, the Patriots. And he was when I tell you a prolific pass rusher in college, he really was. And I'm very high on it. Clearly they are when they draft somebody 55th overall in the second round. But he's in his career, I just wanted to give you some of these numbers. He played 4 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. But in his freshman year, he had 4 sacks, 35 tackles. Like, he could play. His second year, he had 4 sacks. His last 2 years in Illinois, in the Big Ten. This is the Big Ten. Against some of the better tackles in the league, in the country. He had 13 sacks in 2024 and had 74 combined tackles. Last year, he was a monster. He had 11 sacks. I mean, this is the type of impact this guy can play, and why everybody would want him on the football field and have him ready to go and learn right away and learn the tendencies of tackles, etc. I got it. I'm someone who believes that in football, the game of football, one of the easiest positions, if you're in shape, in game shape, and if you're not, let's say you're not in game shape, I think one of the most easy, I shouldn't say easy, one of the most easier transitions, one of the spots that you can transition the best is pass rusher. He's a little bit of a different type of pass rusher, hand down, outside edge. He can do it head up too, but he's more of an outside edge with pressure. But I have high expectations for him. And I don't know what the injuries are, head, shoulders, knees, toes. It was everything, right? Some of it may not have been reported. If you really want to look into the details, he got himself a nice little Patriots deal. You pay? No, sorry. You play, you pay. You get paid if you play. That's the Gabe Backus deal. They need him on the field. I think he can make an impact right away. I think he'll probably make more of an impact than Caleb Lomu, who I want to get to in a little bit here. But the discussion really was a story because why didn't they sign him? Why did it take so long? Did you reach for a guy who had multiple injuries? Is there intel because of Brett Bielema? Like, what is it? I'll just tell you this. Watching him, not all guys translate from college to the NFL. I thought Tyquan Thornton was a tremendous college football player. Hey, N'Keal Harry was a great college football player. Sometimes it doesn't transition. It doesn't transition to the scheme. But Gabe Backus, his ascension in college, I think it translates pretty well for the NFL. But Elijah Ponder, not Christian Ponder. Elijah Ponder is going to be one of the guys they lean on right now, and they're going to get a good look at him. But I'd like a nice competition, though. I wonder if we get him in a preseason game. Maybe they look at it as they'll use the preseason to get him back in shape. He makes the team. I don't know. He could go on PUP, I guess, too, right? Because he's on NFI. He's going to make an impact this year. I don't know when. I believe he will. But I also think they have a lot of other options right now. And pass rush. Again, last night I brought up Vita Vea. To give up a top 75 pick for a guy who can pass rush from the middle with 4.5 sacks a year ago, I like the idea of it. Because you get interior pressure. But at some point, you're going to get Gabe Backus in here. I think he's going to make an impact. Not all pass rushers do in year one. That's true. But I think he's going to be a find for the Pats. But injuries, right? They signed that deal for a reason. Maybe there's some trust issues. But hearing Vrabel say that he'll be back before Harold Landry, I think it's a positive. One other thing that I had my ears... My antenna went. Not the sniffer, the antenna went. Was Mike Vrabel talking about wide receivers? And anyone who's played football in their life or organized basketball or anything like that, when you play out on the playground, some guys look great, right? Like, oh, man, he's fast. He can catch. He can do all those things. But once you put the pads on or once you're in a real 5-on-5, the real players show up. One of the guys I think that has been criticized the most at camp so far has been Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams looked unguardable today on the football field. Multiple red zone touchdowns. And one of the guys that he's been talking to stay motivated has been Kayshon Boutte. I want to play this clip from Mike Vrabel first regarding the wide receiver group. Boutte also had some comments today as well. But let's hear, Skaz. This is Mike Vrabel earlier today on the wide receiver room, and could they potentially trade one of these wide receivers? Let's hear from the coach.
Mike, you guys are pretty deep at wide receiver. Is that a position you might be willing to move a player, or do you like having that depth?
Well, I love having depth, but I would say that, we're always going to try to look to, improve, whether that's by adding, draft capital or obtaining a player or, keeping the guys we have. We want to try to provide competition throughout the roster at each position. I think that's something that's critical. I think that's what good teams do every year, is year in and year out, that they're making the roster as competitive as possible. And so that those position battles and, who's the sixth lineman, who's the fifth, sixth receiver, who's the fourth tight end, all these things you want to be as competitive as possible. And that's something that I've always, I was a part of as a player, and I think that's important to do here in training camp.
That sounded like they could move on from anybody. What do you think, Skaz?
I mean, isn't that kind of what you want him to say, though?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of it's training camp, anybody could be moved on from,
Yeah. I'll double down on one because we'll do Red Sox in a minute. But earlier today, Craig Breslow was asked about could anybody be on the team be moved? And he was like, yeah. So, to your point, Skaz, don't you want the guy that's running the team to literally say, yeah.
Absolutely.
If there's a good deal out there, I'm open to it.
Please, open for business.
Sure.
Flexibility is key.
What are your thoughts on first day of pads, like the Christian Gonzalez stuff? Because I'll get to the Boutte in a minute here, but I was shocked they practiced in the rain. I'm going to be really honest there. But the fact he was out there and taking reps, didn't take reps off, and was going against A.J. Brown, I commend him for being out there. He could be very selfish if he wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel good, right, as a Patriots fan? Good about the contract, good about where the team's at right now that he's out there. You want your star players on the field, as much as possible, as early as possible, especially when it's, Christian Gonzalez and he's looking at A.J. Brown. You'd have to imagine that's good for both of them getting those reps. Obviously, both, veterans pretty much at this point, even Christian Gonzalez. But I think that's valuable. And, I think Vrabel's doing exactly what you want him to do. He's kind of keeping it measured, saying, we have a lot of guys. We like our depth, but at the same time, we're willing to be flexible. And, I think Kayshon Boutte should be on this roster. I know that's kind of the sticking point at wide receiver right now, but who has a better relationship with Drake May than him?
Nobody. This guy's 3rd and 8. Who do you want on the football field at receiver?
Yeah, A.J. Brown, Kayshon Boutte, Hunter Henry.
And if Dobbs is there, sure.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But Boutte's one of them.
Yeah, I just don't know about, I think Dobbs is very good. I love the move when they made it. I think a possession receiver is something they desperately needed, but I know Kayshon Boutte is going to, even go over the middle for Drake May, whatever he needs.
Yeah. And, Boutte talked about it. He sounded like someone who knows he might be traded. He sounded like someone that was like, I'm here now. I'm going to work hard. He should, by the way. He should show up every day. He should work hard. He should try to be on this team. He said he wanted to be here. But he said he was talking with Kyle Williams. They've kind of bonded together as, hey, man, look what they've done at wide receiver here.
It's getting crowded.
We got a ball. Which brings up my next points, guys. This is something I think that we have to be open to. Booty's been working like a pro. And Vrabel, as we mentioned about the whole wide receiver stuff, if there's one wide receiver I think they should move on from, it really is Pop Douglas. And I'm not a Pop Douglas hater. By the way, he's a tremendous athlete. Guy can throw if you wanted him to. But every year, don't we hear about Pop Douglas and how great he is and how great he's looking and this, and that? In reality, Skaz, he's just not your prototypical wide receiver in the NFL. Yes, he scored a touchdown as a gadget player in a playoff game. Yes, he's fast. Yes, he can help out on special teams. He can do all those things. But realistically, to me, he's a slot. And I think you have Dobbs for a slot. I think Matt Collins can play that spot if they need to. I think Kyle Williams can play that spot. And quite frankly, you could play Efton Chisholm if you really had to. But at some point, like, when do they actually cut loose with Pop Douglas? And in your opinion, don't you think Kayshon Boutte would have more value than Pop Douglas?
Yeah, you would have to think so. He's better.
I mean, they weren't even fetching a 5th-round pick for him that we know of. So, like, I don't know.
So why Pop Douglas and not Kyle Williams?
Well, Kyle,
you still believe?
I see skills. I don't believe.
He's fast.
I don't believe in. So I don't believe.
You don't believe.
I see skills in his route running. Forget his speed. I'm not even going to, because I know what it is. If you want fast guys, you're going to get fast guys.
He goes fast.
I know that. I think his skill set while running routes is there. What was his biggest issue last year? Running routes. So what I'm trying to say is, he was a rookie. He didn't have pros like A.J. Brown to work with, right? He didn't have guys like, Dobbs, who's been in the league. It's funny because when this all happened, I remember asking Zoe one night, like, hey, if there was someone you'd move, he said, I think it's Kyle Williams. Like, maybe some other team believes in a 3rd-round pick, Maybe there's somebody else. It's getting crowded. You might not have to move on from anybody. But you're missing someone somewhere. Does Matt Collins become a partial tight end? Do you only carry 2 tight ends?
I heard he said he might play fullback as well, Joe.
If he has to, go ahead. I bet you will he wear his cleats? Does he wear cleats?
I don't think you want a barefoot fullback.
I bet you he'd try to kick barefoot, though, if he had to. But Kyle Williams, great day today. And I should shout out Caleb Lomu. Spoke today on 98.5 The Sports Hub, mentioned he'll play wherever. He also mentioned when he got drafted, Will Campbell was one of the first to reach out to him. I like that. He said Campbell's taken him under his wing, told him how to be a rookie and what they expect out of rookies and all that. He also
got to be a little wing, right?
Yeah, he also said he wants to be violent.
I like violence, Joe.
I like
on
violence.
The football field.
That's right. I'm trying to find storylines. I'm not going to make any up. Today sounded like a good day for the Patriots camp.
Oh, you hear Barth?
No, actually, I didn't know.
Barth was, blowing.
He was like oozing?
Blowing. Oh, he was, you want to talk about green goo? I don't know. What is it, silver? What are we doing
Silver
down
and
there?
blue goo?
Silver and blue? Yeah, I mean, he was excited. Good day.
Well, what was he most happy about?
I mean, Drake made A.J. Brown 4 touchdowns was a big one.
4?
4, I believe, yes.
Whoa.
There was some good Eli Raridon talk there. He looks good.
Backup tight end from Notre Dame.
He's got to bulk up, though, Joe. I heard he's a little on the skinny side.
You need some pancakes?
Yeah, maybe some pancakes, yes. Let's see. Christian Gonzalez, he thinks it's a good thing he was there. He thought Will Campbell was very good today, which I think is a good sign.
I've heard Will Campbell has been doing the old punch. Again, I'm going to play left tackle for a second. For those watching on YouTube. Said, Hut, first step is towards the defender, not back. Some guys can do the old back skis. It should be forward, and then you punch. I've heard that he's got that punch going this year, where last year he was just grabbing you like an SEC guy.
You want him to initiate the contact.
I want him to punch and then center of gravity and roll your hips and then footwork. Again, having short arms, it's hard to punch. But I think he's getting better from everything that I heard. Hey, one last thing. DeAndre Hopkins no longer coaching with the Patriots. What happened there?
It's a cup of coffee, I guess. I don't know. It was always kind of just a preliminary. He was just checking it out, seeing if he wanted to do it.
Kyle Van Noy was there the other day.
Was he?
Free agent Kyle Van Noy.
Well, I heard the midday was doing a little recruiting to him. I didn't know he actually showed up.
Do you think people are just
wandering in
and be like,
I mean,
is there a spot for me here? Is that what happened with DeAndre Hopkins? He was like, there's no spot for me here.
I mean, DeAndre, a little long in the tooth, I think.
Great, best hands I ever saw. Him and Larry Fitzgerald, best hands. Man, DeAndre Hopkins.
You want Van Noy?
Not in the media.
I'd like him to be back in town just for Fred. I think that would be good for Fred.
What was that? He was the boogeyman, right?
The boogie, yes, I believe that is correct. 8-0, Joe, they were.
I'll say this, dude. I told you I showed my love for BYU last night. I loved Kyle Van Noy in college, man. Oh, and then he didn't work out with the Lions, I think it was, and the Pats, dude. They knew exactly where to play him. The only thing I'll say about Van Noy is, I think he has a real high football level IQ. So he may be a little slower, might not be as strong. He knows where to be, and he's been very productive. I'm not sure where he's at physically right now, but can he work in the media? Absolutely. Could he give you a little Jelani Tavai type play? Could he help? I think so. By the way, after Robert Spillane, who do they have at linebacker behind him? Is it Christian Ellis? Because last year it was Gibbons, and I thought Gibbons did a pretty good job. I don't think they have a backup line. Oh, it's going to be KJ Britt, right? Is that who it is this year? He played in Miami. He actually a pretty good player. But if I'm doing camp watch, who's the backup middle linebacker on this group? All right. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. Hey, the Red Sox won last night. And they didn't sacrifice their way. They actually homered, baby, homer. But not just homer. An extra inning dong. We'll tell you who hit that. And tonight's game as well. And what's going on with the old trade deadline. All that and more coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Yes, Patriots camp.
Playing for multiple runs. Monasterio. How about it? Last at bat got domed. He comes up here and you're not bunting. You're on the road, a little different strategy, a little different feel, right, from Chad Tracy. And it pays off with a 2-run shot from Andrew Monasterio, his 6th of the year. That's his 3rd hit of the night.
Game though, we got ourselves a little bit of extra baseball. We were here until 11 and drove home. Got to watch the rest of the game last night. I enjoyed it. Sox went to their bullpen late, used Whitlock, used Chapman, went into extra innings, and Andrew Monasterio went deep. Have the Red Sox gotten enough from Monasterio, Sogard, Chen, Siegler to not add at that position?
No.
And Trevor Story could be on his way back.
Yay. You can't rely on 4 platoon guys to, always give you, a good performance every time they're out there.
I think Monasterio's had a good run.
Yeah, you're rotating them for a reason, though.
Yeah, and just to give you the numbers on Monasterio, his last 17 games, right? He has 67 plate appearances. He's batting .357 with a .439 OBP, slugging .679. In his last 67 at-bats, plate appearances, 3 home runs, 7 doubles, 1 triple. He has 8 RBI. Monasterio's been hot. He's got him to this point. I kind of agree with Skaz that, do I think those guys are serviceable? Yes. Do I think they're platoon guys for a reason? Yes. Monasterio's hot, but has he ever done this consistently in his career? I mean, he actually was a pretty good hitter last year. I think he'd be better as a platoon guy. So now the question is, what do they do next? I want to just mention how good the relief pitching has been, because last night they went back to Sandoval gave him what he could. But in July, 6-0, 10 saves. In 50 games this year, 42 and a third innings, 1.27 ERA. They have 55 strikeouts. Whitlock's been outstanding as well. That bullpen's been really, really good. But they also won a different way last night. They've been using the sacrifice a lot. And last night they made so many substitutes. I felt like it was like an old National League game. But they had so many substitutions. They had Jaron Duran late in the game, still got 3 at-bats, even though he didn't start the game. And they took out Connor Wong at one point to pinch hit Yoshida when they probably could have had Wong bunt. And Carlos Narvaez is in such a funk right now. I almost wonder if going after a catcher might be what's best. I like Adley Rutschman, all-star. But why would Baltimore trade a catcher within their division? And the Hunter Goodman move, yeah, I'd love him. What's it going to cost you? If it's Franklin area, sure, but like what else is involved in that move? I was talking with Matt McCarthy earlier today, and he was telling me that the numbers don't necessarily match up from road and home. We know about Coors Field and home runs. So home runs at home, he's hit 38 home runs in his career at home. His batting average is .267. On the road, he still hits for power, 38. But his average dips about 25 points. I hate the Coors Field stench. Skaz, you think it would be risky going for a guy that's been successful at Coors Field, although he could be a middle-of-the-lineup guy and a catcher?
Yeah, I think it's always risky, and that's the thing. I heard Maz talking about it a little bit. Is he a catcher or is he a DH? Because it seems to be there's some conflicting reports about his long-term, position. And if he's a DH, I think that significantly changes what you'd have to give up for him. I do worry about the Coors Field thing, and I have seen a lot of people, especially Red Sox fans, that want him to make this move, saying, well, he actually hits better on the road. His splits are better on the road this season, but for his career, he hits better at Coors Field than he does on the road. So, yeah, I would obviously be a little worried about that. I would rather go with maybe a more safer option. I'm kind of done with Rockies players. I would, like to get a real, baseball player, maybe a guy that's not a half catcher, half DH. But I can't be picky at this point, Joe. If they do anything of merit, I'm not going to complain.
31 home runs for this guy.
It's a lot of dongs.
30 games this year as a DH. 70 behind the dish. So he's a catcher. I'm trying to see if there's any actual catcher ratings here. Errors. Let's see. Oof. 9 errors this year as a catcher. One other update that just came over the wire here, we should probably let you know. Roman Anthony has started swinging a bat. Chad Tracy just told the media Roman Anthony has finally started swinging off a tee, and he's taking underhand tosses. So does this mean Roman Anthony could be back this season? Does it impact their deadline?
It shouldn't, but I think the timing is certainly would lead you to believe that they could think it may impact their deadline.
Do you think Craig Breslow's comments today, when asked, would Roman Anthony be available in a trade, do you think that made its way to Fort Myers or wherever the hell he is in Florida?
It would have to, Joe, right? It has to.
People were pinging him. Like, oh, did you hear this? Did you hear this today? And what, he just get up and start swinging a bat?
I mean, he's on social media. He probably saw it for himself.
There's got to be something to that, right?
Timing is everything, isn't it, Joe?
They should operate like no one's coming back. You ever heard the term dance like nobody's watching?
Of course.
So is that a love story? I don't know yet. Or is that like from The Rent? Live, laugh, love. Something
Where's
like
Derek
that.
when you need him?
I know. Where is he actually? Where is he?
He's at Spider-Man. Hey, yeah, everybody gets one night.
Do you know what was funny? He when he left, he goes, I'm not going to be here Thursday. I go, oh, cool, man. What are you doing on Thursday? He goes, I'm going to see Spider-Man. I'm like, what? He got so defensive. I've been here every day. I'm like, no, dude, go enjoy Spider-Man.
Yes,
I'm just busting your chops.
Of course. Be worried if we weren't busting chops.
I know. That's what I mean.
We love Derek. And I've heard the movie's very good, so.
So, who is the new Spider-Man?
It's still Tom Holland, I believe. I think it's his third one, maybe? His fourth one? I don't know.
I'm still on the Tobey Maguire one.
Okay. All right. So you're
the first one was the Green Goblin.
That sounds right, yeah. Doc Ock was one of them, I think.
And then there was
the guy with all the arms.
Yeah, him.
Yep. And then I don't know. The Sand guy, or was that Tobey Maguire? Joe, I don't know. Not for
We
us.
need somebody.
Yeah, I don't even know. I like Spider-Man's good. That's my take.
I like that. Well, remember the first Spider-Man came out with our Nickelback Chad.
That's
Josie
right.
Scott.
Yes. How could
I made a
forget?
joke. I made a joke this year that I don't know how we haven't continued it. But when I said the Red Sox need a hero this year, is Chad Tracy their hero?
Yeah, you did mention kind of the NL style of the game last night. Maybe an aspect of Chad Tracy that we haven't shed enough light on is he's been pushing the right buttons during these winning streaks, these series wins as well. Like his pinch hits, his pitching changes, like little things. He's getting them right in game, and it's something I've certainly started to notice more and more. And maybe it's just because they're winning, you're happy to notice these things more. But it seems like every time he's got a pinch hit or something like that, the bunts, everything. I think he's growing into that managerial role. I think.
Oh, I think he's a good manager. He learned. I mean, his old man was very good. Last night, though, there was a couple of times where I thought they'd sacrifice and they didn't. It was different, but they won by the home run, which is very, very different for the Boston Red Sox. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I'm already getting people right now I think people are getting Red Sox fever, man. I think people are getting some Red Sox, especially with the deadline coming up. Just received this one, Joe. Acquiring a major league catcher is a necessity. If you're one of the top pitching lineups in baseball, then you invest in a catcher to control behind the plate.
But that's not who Hunter Goodman is. That's kind of what we're saying is that we don't know if he's a major league catcher. Now you're going to bring him in with the best ERA in the bigs and see what happens. I don't know if I love that.
I think Narvaez and Wong call a great game, and I don't even know if it's always them. I mean, Sonny Gray calls his own game, right? Ranger Suarez can throw the ball wherever he wants. If you want to say he's done good with guys like Tolle and Jake Bennett, and yeah. Dude, by the way, I have a game on right now. The Washington Nationals, I know they have one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in baseball. They've just whacked 2 home runs while I'm watching this game. Garcia, right? He's their first baseman. And then who's the other guy is it Abrams? But I just watched another guy, Dalen Lyle, just go yard.
He's got 2 in this game.
And so there's
Luis Garcia has 1, Dalen Lyle has 2.
Every time I look up, one of these Washington Nationals are hitting a home run. Maybe that's where Mr. Mead came in, huh? When it comes to Mead, Crochet, you can't expect anybody back. But Roman Anthony swinging a baseball bat. Who would have thought after the chief baseball officer today might have mentioned everyone is on the table? And there may be 3 people, 5 people I would trade Roman in a package for. One's Bobby Witt. Although I would like him on the same team.
Can I ask, Joe?
Sure.
Why the sudden fascination with finding a shortstop for the next decade with the Boston Red Sox when every Red Sox fan within, a 150-mile radius has been screaming about how great Franklin Arias is going to be. And now all of a sudden he's in AAA, which I think is closer than double and single A where he was before to the major leagues. But now we're going to trade all of our prospects to get either Francisco Lindor, Zach Neto, Bobby Witt, whoever it is. So does Franklin Arias stink? Is he useless? Why is he all I heard about for 3 months and now we're trading for a decade of a shortstop?
I've wondered if he's the guy. Like, could they bring him up?
Well, that feels like you're screwing the kid. Didn't we learn our lesson doing that to these younger guys the last couple of years?
Well, you asked the question, why shortstop? They leaned on Trevor Story for leadership.
That worked.
He got hurt.
Yep.
They thought Marcelo Meyer was the shortstop of the future, right? And really, Franklin Arias has just risen through the system. So is all the talk because they will move on from Franklin? Like, Franklin Arias has 19 home runs.
So, like, are they abandoning the kids? Or our system's great? The kids aren't good? We need a shortstop for a decade?
I think they have issues with prospects. I think they're a little gun shy. Is that the word? Or wary? Well,
they certainly were, but now all of a sudden you're going to trade the kid I haven't stopped hearing about for months to get I just find the messaging a little odd.
When they sucked and didn't have a winning streak, and I was in that building, they were saying how they want to trade for major league players. It was pretty clear that they wanted to get guys in there that could play. Maybe that's why maybe you're right, Skess. Maybe they want to pump and dump some guys because they'd rather major league ready guys because they invested in young talent. Let's face it, Roman Anthony's had 50 good games? Marcelo Meyer can't even play 50 games. Christian Campbell couldn't even play 50 games. I think they got sticker shock. I like to use that term because it's a car thing. You know, when you see the price of a car and you're like, oh.
They still putting stickers on cars, Joe?
MSRP, baby. Now you got to pay sticker because it's hard to get them. Some cars, man, they don't have enough inventory. And then if you're around here, where do you put all the cars? You got to send them to Charlestown at the Navy Yard. Anyways, what do I know? John's in the car. John.
How are you, Joe?
Hey, how you doing?
I was with your boy Tommy from Lynn a couple of nights ago. He's screaming across the baseball diamond at a beer league, men's league baseball game at the other team. He almost got thrown out of Greenfield.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
And then the Lynn police officer next to me at the end of the game was telling me how he beat his friend with a hockey stick and he was hiding behind the bushes. He's beautiful. He's beautiful.
And then you guys all went to Tony's pub.
Yes. Tony actually used to play in the NSBL, so he was part of the Swampscott Sox program. Dynamite middle infielder.
There you go.
Joe, underrated Chinese restaurant. I don't know if you go to the Wakefield, Ossipee area ever up in New Hampshire. Wontons, right on Route 16. You got to go try it.
Route 16, Ossipee Lake area.
Yeah, I think it's in Rochester. Check that. Wakefield, but
is it better than green tea on the Linway?
Yes,
okay.
But it's not as good as Asia Taste, Joe. Asia Taste is still the top of the mountain.
Okay, I'm a Kowloon guy all day long in Oyes, but that's my own little bias.
Can I ask a Roman Anthony question?
Yes.
And I guess I'll ask it of any young player, because we all know the answer to this. If I can get a package together where I can get Bobby Witt, I don't care what the hell it costs me. I'm getting Bobby Witt. and it's that simple. The proven, true MVP caliber major league talent that will instantaneously put some offense into this team. Joe, they're having trouble scoring 3-4 runs a game in this Little League field in Sacramento. They just can't hit. They either all hit together or they all go in the tank together. And there's no consistency, which is their biggest problem. And since, in my opinion, Roman Anthony is a player that has come up to the major leagues, like most of these players, without a true position. I mean, he throws a baseball like it's a shot put, and he's supposed to be an outfielder. He certainly isn't going to play first base. Then if I get an opportunity and somebody wants to buy high on Roman Anthony, I'm sorry. It's just the chances of Roman Anthony becoming what they perceive him to be, especially this group of scouted evaluators, versus what I know Bobby Witt is, or somebody like a Bobby Witt, I'm going to take that major league guy anytime. And that goes for NHL talent. That goes for NFL talent. I don't care. I want the proven, I know what I got. I can plug this guy in. He's 35 home runs. He bats .330. He's 120 RBIs, and he plays a dynamite shortstop. What the hell else more can I want other than hoping I get two of those four things from Caligula?
Hey, I don't disagree with you, John. And my only thing is I think they have sticker shock. But I'm going to say this. I still believe in Roman Anthony. I believe in Roman Anthony. I believe in Roman Anthony. All right, well, that song's on the table. We have the Spider-Man song on the table. And, well, who knows what else we got. Oh, I got one for you, Skaz. You can think about this and everybody that's out there as well. Who will lead the Patriots in rushing this season? I'll leave that there as we take a break. And this hour of the Sports Hub is brought to you by our good friends over at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You'll save 15% off fixed drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. We got hour 2 coming up next on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Warm all winter. Save on energy costs while reducing your carbon footprint. For a free estimate, visit superservicetoday.com. I'm Joe Murray.
This is what happens when analysts take over the game, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
I was gonna do here who's gonna lead the Patriots in rushing, but I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. We'll push it back a little bit. This Roman Anthony stuff dropping. As I just said, Chad Tracy on Roman Anthony. Roman has started swinging a bat off a tee, short flips. Some of that action going on. It's mainly up to 30 swings right now at this time. He's doing well. He began swinging yesterday. No clear next steps. He just started doing it. It's probably going to remain that way for a little while and see how he's feeling. And then, if that continues to go well, then we'll start talking about building out a progression to more stuff. But he at least has a bat in his hand swinging. Told you we needed a hero. And that hero is Chad Tracy, everybody. The Chad Sox, baby. They say that a hero can save us. I'm not going to stand here and wait, as everybody is standing there waiting for Roman Anthony. But the real hero this year, Chad Tracy. Had to get rid of Alex Cora to do that, which, you know, Skaz, can we take a victory lap? Is it okay? If kind of wanted, I know you wanted them gone. I wanted them gone after a while.
I didn't want him hired in the first place, Joe.
No, you talk about Alex Cora.
Yes.
Yeah, bringing him back. Yeah. Do I think he's a good manager? I think he can manage. I do.
I don't.
I think he can manage.
When he's cheating, he's very good. When Alex Cora wants to manage baseball, he's good at it. I just don't think he really likes doing it or wants to do it.
Well, if he went to the Mets, do you think he'd be a good manager?
They're 20 games under 500.
I'm going to say no.
No.
if he turned down the Phillies. I mean, Don Mattingly turned him around. Say what you want. I mean, and Bryce Harper's pissed now or whatever's going on there.
Kind of a good year for baseball, big picture wise.
Did you know, Lucy Burge, I'll give her credit for this. Did you know that only 2 players in Major League Baseball are hitting over 300?
I thought there's 3 in the American League.
Okay, that might be what it was.
I think there's 3 in the American League, which is crazy.
Dude, 300 was like, you're the man.
Yeah.
You hit 320, it was like, that guy's really good. Some guys had 360. Nomar had a 368.
Joe Mauer would flirt with it for a while. Like, he was 350-ish sometimes even in the middle of the season.
Mark Grace once hit over 3 and change.
Yeah, Bill Miller. He could Miller. Batting champ.
Damn right.
Couple times, I think.
Bill Miller would be a nice upgrade to this team.
Sure. Puts the ball in play.
Could play second, third. I don't know if he could play short, but by the way, there's a great Twitter follow called 20 Years Ago Today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Love that.
It was good. It was good stuff. What did I see the other night that I shared?
A lot of SportsCenter top 10s on those. I like.
Yeah. And mostly they're bad Rays teams with Aubrey Huff at third, who made a lot of plays over there at third. Anyways, we're going to talk to Brian Barrett coming up in a little bit. The lineup has been out. I don't know why I missed this one, but Anthony Siegler's leading off tonight. Ceddanne Rafaela back in the 2-hole. Wilyer Abreu, Wilson Contreras, Masataka Yoshida, Caleb Durbin, Jaron Duran, Andrew Monasterio back at short, and Connor Wong behind the plate for Sonny Gray against his former team. Sonny Gray did not have one of his sunny days in his previous start.
How's he been on the bounce back? I mean, I know there hasn't been many bounce backs for Sonny Gray this year. He's been so good.
Since he's come off the DL, I think he's won every single game. Now you got me thinking. I literally thought Sonny Gray was gone about a month ago when he said it.
I think we all kind of thought Sonny Gray, Aroldis Chapman, gone. But now, I mean, you need Sonny Gray if you're, down the stretch.
I would tell you this. If you could net a Skaz, if the Marlins don't want Aroldis Chapman.
No.
The White Sox were interested. That's at least like...
Because they're winning. Beat the Yankees again today.
The Yankees can't hit without Judge. You know their batting average is 222 without him? They can't hit.
He should be the MVP for, not playing this year. It's proving how much of the MVP he is.
The one thing I will say, though, is when you think... I know you think ahead here. This is how you have to do the deadline now. Do you want the Rays or do you want the Yankees? I want the Yankees if it's no Judge. Anyways, we're going to talk to Brian Barrett in a minute, but Danny's in the car. Danny.
Yeah, I'd like to see Korg actually go to the Yankees and they can get rid of I forgot his name, the old the guy. Yes,
Boone.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Boone, Aaron Boone, nice home run there. When's Skaz going to get in the hot seat next year? Why doesn't corporate get him? Forget about behind the glass. Why don't we put him in the big seat next to you, Joe?
If we had another body back there, right now it's just Skaz by himself back there.
The interns went back. They're done.
Our intern went to Spider-Man tonight.
Okay. But in general, maybe we entertain. I don't know if you would want someone, but you guys play so well off each other.
Oh, we've tried. If Street Team Joe's here, Skaz can come right in studio. It's more of a man. What do we call it? Not manpower.
It's a numbers game, Joe.
It's a numbers game.
The numbers.
It's a numbers game.
Yes.
It's a numbers game. They got to step up, bump his salary up, put him in the studio. Why not?
Hey, I'm in on that.
Danny in the car is climbing my caller power rankings, Joe.
Good old Rainham boy. I'd like to follow up from the last caller. There's very few players in MLB that I would ever consider trading Roman Anthony for, who I think will have a solid 15-year career. I think he'll land in the Hall of Fame. I think very few players hit 300. I think he'll have a 280 batting average. And we'll see guys hit 300 if they lower the mound a little bit in the name of 100-mile-an-hour pitchers. But with that in mind, Bobby Witt Jr. at 26, He's a stud. It's a no-brainer. 288 career batting average. The guy is a wonder boy at shortstop. And with all my rookie cards, on-card autos from Roman Anthony, boy, would I hate to see him go.
Hold him, baby. Hold him.
Oh, hold's not the word. We're holding him. And I'd like to see him. I mean, I went as far as to say to friends, and they said, you're insane. I said, he's the next Ted Williams of the modern era.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a little crazy, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I would Mike Greenwell. I'll take at this point. Anyways, I know Brian Barrett's waiting. He's got some stats that you're gonna like, Skess, about Paul George, and we talked earlier. I did his podcast earlier today, and I said, "Hey, I'll do yours if you do mine."
There you go.
So he's gonna join us next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Bored?
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Well, everybody, if you want to catch a good show, because, obviously you're listening right now, which is good. But after the show, you want to follow The Ringer in the Off the Pike podcast. I was a guest with burning questions with Brian Barrett, who joins us right now on 98.5 The Sports. Brian, how are you, sir?
Joe, what's going on, man? Nothing like a home and home.
I know. I was going to say, I think your home, my home, it all worked out. One thing we haven't discussed yet, and it just came out from Chad Tracy within the hour, Roman Anthony swinging a bat, 30 swings right now, no plan yet. But your thoughts on Roman Anthony swinging a bat today?
I think at the very least, it's a great sign for the Red Sox because obviously with the meat injury, and I guess they got some good news with that he's going to get reevaluated in 4 weeks, but they desperately need more pop in the lineup. And I think we've seen that over the past couple of days in this A series where they really haven't swung the bats well. They've won 2 out of the first 3 of the series. We'll see what happens later on tonight in the finale. And I know Roman was not good pre-injury. Like you look at when he went out, his slugging percentage was .321, 151st out of 179 qualifiers. But I am old enough, Joe, to remember that from the time he came up until the time he got injured last year, he had a .396 on base percentage, which was the 8th best in Major League Baseball. I'm also old enough to remember what transpired in the World Baseball Classic when you could argue he was one of their best 3 players in that. So I think eventually he's going to get back to the old Roman Anthony. And I do think also when you look at it, he has to have learned from this situation. Like getting sent down to Florida was, dude, like you got to put the work in. You got to get back on track, get your not career back on track, but get your season back on track. So I think that was good for him. And I also look at it from this perspective. The team has thrived since Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, to a lesser extent, of course, Meyer goes down with the injury, but the team has thrived without them. Roman Anthony is supposed to be the face of the organization, so I think there has to be a motivational factor for him that I'm supposed to be contributing to this team. And now, for the first time, I would say, for his young career, there's real pressure on Roman Anthony in a Red Sox uniform because they're desperately going to need the bat, especially like we acknowledge, we'll see what they do at the deadline, but we acknowledge that Meade is going to be out maybe for the rest of the season. They need big things from Roman Anthony if eventually he comes back. So if he comes back and he looks like the hitter he was pre-injury, there's a chance that the fan base is like, well, where's the guy that we saw last year? Where's the guy that was the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball? So I think there's real pressure on him for the first time in his career. Because remember last year when they lose to the Yankees, it's like, well, it would have been great if they had Roman. Roman was so good. This year he wasn't good. Then he's injured. There's controversy around the injury. At this point, it's put up or shut up time for Roman Anthony.
You mentioned the 2 guys who've been gone, and they've also went on a little run here. I think we should mention the shortstop position in Trevor Story. Trevor Story's also been gone, and they leaned on him to be a leader. And, well, it didn't work out. He also had to see 3 different specialists for a sports hernia. He's taking ground balls with Marcelo Meyer. Do you find it interesting they're looking to add potentially a shortstop here at the trade deadline?
In one sense, yeah. And look, you do have Arias who eventually is going to come up at some point. I don't envision that's going to be this season. And I think, if anything, the Red Sox should have learned from both Christian Campbell and Meyer. Where Meyer came up because Bregman was dealing with an injury last year, he wasn't ready. If you go back to his minor league numbers, he never hit lefties at the minor league level. With Christian Campbell, they basically said, hey, from day one, he was their starting second baseman because they wanted it. Like they had traded for Vaughn Grissom, and Grissom was so bad that he couldn't be the everyday second baseman. So Campbell comes up, he starts out hot, and then he fails. So I think with Arias, they want to take time to make sure he's ready for when he eventually comes up. But just in terms of the shortstop right now, I look at it, we know from reporting around when Alex Cora was let go, the front office doesn't like Trevor Story. They were upset when Alex Cora was hitting him second in the lineup. I don't believe that they want to play Trevor Story every day at shortstop. And with Meyer, I don't envision him being back up with the big club this year because the guys they're playing instead of him, like, for example, obviously the big swing for Monasterio on Wednesday night, Monasterio has been a solid player for them. So I don't think there's any reason to bring Meyer back up. So if you're looking at it and you're saying, all right, we don't want to rush Arias. We'll see when he's eventually coming up here. Let's see what it would cost to go after a guy like Neto. The one that really interests me is Lopez. I mean, Lopez, at last glance, he's still leading Major League Baseball in batting average. He was hitting .331 earlier this week. I think that number's down to .328, but he's been one of the most consistent hitters in Major League Baseball, even if it took a while for him to have that sort of breakout season at the age of 27. So I think from sort of just an organizational perspective, it gives you time in terms of bringing up the prospect. So I don't mind it at all. And there's always the chance of, well, you really don't have, and we'll see when Meade eventually comes back, but you could use another middle infielder for now and into the future because they're not really deep at those two positions as it pertains to shortstop and second base. So I don't mind it at all.
What about Hunter Goodman? Guy's got 31 home runs, clearly can hit the ball with power. Is he a catcher, Brian, and do you think they need one?
Well, and that's the issue is, like, from a defensive perspective, he's been really bad this season, and he grades out poorly, like, across the board. But you said it, Joe, it's the pop and the bat. I mean, there's two guys in Major League Baseball that have more home runs than Goodman, and we're talking about Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Schwarber. And one of the things that we talk about with guys coming over from Colorado is, all right, well, look at the splits. He's actually better on the road than he is at home. He's 8th in slugging percentage on the season, and the catcher position is something that the Red Sox, there's not somebody right now that's going to be close in the pipeline. I give Connor Wong credit for what he's done behind the plate at times this year. Same thing with Narvaez. Narvaez must be, maybe I should say, the best sack bunter in Major League Baseball as we've seen in recent weeks. The guy just continues to sack bunt. But if you want to stabilize that position, yeah, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of defense. But, Joe, also you look at it from a lineup perspective. Going forward right now, like for the next 3 to 4 years, who's guaranteed to hit in the top 4 of the Red Sox order? Because I don't believe Rafael is that guy, even though he swung the bat well. I rather him hit it a little bit lower in the lineup, despite how well he's played. Contreras is under contract for, 2 more years, that he's in his mid-30s. Roman Anthony would say, okay, he should be that guy, but he's going to prove it when he comes back. And maybe it's Curtis Meade when we eventually see him in a Red Sox uniform. But you really don't have those type of guys. That's why the shortstop thing with Lopez and with Goodman in terms of a catcher, it makes a lot of sense because they need impact bats in the lineup. And one thing I will give Bledsoe a lot of credit for here, they have built up such depth with their pitching department that even like you look at the Meade trade, and on paper, a lot of people thought nationally at least, like, hey, Washington won that trade. But at the same point, it's like, well, it doesn't really hurt the Red Sox because of the depth they have with guys like Tolley and a guy like Jake Bennett who's thrown the ball well. I thought they left him in the game a little bit too long on Tuesday night. But they have depth in the starting rotation to the point where this organization under Breslow has not been great evaluating position players. They've been really good at, in terms of evaluating pitching talent. So, like, get established major league players with the surplus that you have in the pitching department. It's a good way to do business.
All right, Brian Barrett of The Ringer joining us here on 98.5 The Sports, so we can check out his Off the Pike pod. One thing I like about Brian is he can ask you a question and then you can give the answer, and then he'll dominate you with stats, which I do love. And I want Skaz to hear this one, but you asked a question earlier today, and we're transitioning to basketball here. When it comes to the more impactful player, Jaylen Brown in Philadelphia or A.J. Brown with the Pats? Skaz, before we get Brian, Skaz, who do you think will be more impactful, Jaylen in Philly or A.J. Brown with the Pats?
I mean, it's tough. There's only one basketball. I'm going to lean what's 8 touchdowns for A.J. Brown? I'm going to lean A.J. Brown.
All right. I said Jalen. Brian, who you got?
Yeah, so I went with A.J. Brown, and this isn't meant to be an indictment on Jalen because I think he's going to play really well there in Philly. I understand the one basketball argument, but I think during the regular season, Embiid and LeBron are going to miss so many games. LeBron, obviously, at 41, 42, he's not going to play back-to-back. So I think Jalen's going to have plenty of opportunities in the regular season. The postseason is when I have questions about that Philly team meshing. When there's 4 minutes left and it's a 2-point game, is Jalen getting any looks? That's one thing that I'd be looking for if I'm Philadelphia going forward. But the reason I said A.J. Brown is this. So since the start of the 2022 season, so this is a 4-year sample size, against man coverage, A.J. Brown has 129 receptions. That is number 1 in the NFL. He has 1,977 yards against man coverage, first in the NFL. Against man coverage during that stretch, he has 22 touchdowns, 4th in the NFL. And by the way, Joe, when we recorded my pod earlier today, A.J. Brown and Drake, they hadn't had a big practice together. Apparently that all changed on Thursday. So the thing about A.J. Brown is what the Patriots were desperately missing. It was such a need. You could argue it was the biggest need on the team. If you go back and look, they played a gauntlet of defenses in the postseason. When you're talking about Denver in that weird weather situation, Seattle, those were 2 of the 3 best defenses, I would argue, in the NFL. And I think that the Texans had the most talented defense in the NFL when you're talking about the 2 pass rushers in Hunter and Anderson and what they have on the back end with Stingley, which apparently the only guy that's good against Stingley is Kayshon Boutte. But my point being, nobody was scared of anybody on the Patriots offense in the postseason. They just said, yeah, we'll play man-to-man coverage. And the Patriots weren't even a great rushing team. And teams are just like, you know what, we can stack the box. We're not scared of any of your receivers. A.J. Brown is the guy that can absolutely dominate in man coverage. So since it was, and look, I guess you can put the offensive line in this category as well. Like, the most glaring weaknesses with the Patriots last year in the postseason were the offensive line and the inability for the receivers to win in man-to-man coverage. You just, Joe, by the numbers, got the best guy in the NFL to fix your biggest issue. Like, there isn't a more perfect pairing than A.J. Brown for what the Patriots needed. Obviously, a guy, too, that is motivated, wants to play for Mike Vrabel. And this is a perfect fit for Drake May. He's one of these guys, the classic, hey, even if he's not open, he's open. Because he's going to have the size advantage against any corner that he plays against in the NFL. He's great in terms of running in-breaking routes. So I think that this is just such a good fit for the Patriots. And that's why I go with A.J. Brown, because this is the one real weakness the Patriots had offensively in terms of just the raw personnel. And you got the best guy in the league doing it. I mean, it's a match made in heaven.
I like it. I think Jalen only because his impact has already been made. And
Fair.
if LeBron and Embiid and those guys can't produce, they will have to lean on him. Nobody's wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. This is why we do this, right? But the A.J. Brown stuff you just detailed, that's going to help Drake May. It's going to help the offensive line. It's going to help their running game, right? You mentioned, just him and how he can get off the ball. It's going to make the rest of their receiving core better. And I'm interested to see it all play out. And, will it help Drake May not fumble the football as much, though, right? Will it help him not? Maybe he'll run less. I don't know. But I think it's going to be huge for A.J. Brown. Here's the other one that I wanted to share with Skaz. Who finishes as the Celtics' second leading scorer this year?
So this is a fun one. So to me, there's 3 main candidates, right? Paul George, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard. So Pritchard last year was at 17. White was at 16.5. We know he was literally dead last in the NBA in field goal percentage, and he shot just 32.7% on threes. I think those numbers go up now that Tatum's back in the fold. Those guys have such a great synergy where they do that inverted pick and roll where White will actually set screens for Tatum, and it all works out from there. Pritchard, 7.1 attempts on threes, 37.7%. So he shot the 3 well. And we know, literally by the numbers, from 4 to 14 feet, Peyton Pritchard is the most efficient shooter in the entire NBA. Like, he's right above Jokic. That's how good he is from 4 to 14 feet. Paul George only played 37 games last year. And he was coming back from an injury. And then, of course, he had the PED suspension. Now, I think you can make the argument that he was the best wing in the series that the Celtics played the Philadelphia 76ers in. I was shocked at what a great job he did on Jalen defensively, because I said before the series, Paul George is not athletic enough anymore to guard guys like Jaylen Brown. I thought it was a terrible matchup. I thought he fared pretty well. So athletically, I thought he looked pretty good in that series. And the other thing about next season for the Celtics, Paul George took 6.9 3-point attempts per game. He was over 8 per 36. He shot 39.2% on threes. His field goal attempts were at just 13.9, and he averaged 16.7 points per game. Joe, do you think Paul George is going to take more than 6.9 threes per game playing for Joe Mazzulla?
Yes.
I believe that Joe Mazzulla is going to want that number to be closer to 8. Paul George is an unbelievable shooter. If you look at his catch and shoot numbers, he's been near 45% a couple of years if you just look at raw catch and shoot. And the one thing I think about with George, where he's really equipped, and look, this is not saying that the trade was a good trade. I'm just pointing out what the team is right now. He really fits into this team in terms of he plays really well off the ball. Remember, he just recently played with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, where you could argue that he was the third option, right? Because Harden has the ball so often, and Kawhi is just one of the best scorers of the past 15, 20 years, if you will. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think the shot attempts being on this team compared to playing with the team that he was on last year, they need his shot attempts to go up. His shot attempts are going to be more threes. They can run like a lot of off-the-ball stuff for Paul George to get opportunities shooting, and he has two guys in both Jason Tatum and Peyton Pritchard to a lesser extent that can create for him. So to me, like, I don't think you can expect much more of a jump from Pritchard from just a pure scoring perspective. I think he made his leap last year. Like, only thing you could expect is maybe more volume. I just don't see it. I mean, he played 32 minutes a game, and those were his numbers. I referenced all, like, the efficiency stuff, but also the fact that Pritchard is older than Tatum. Like, I just don't think, like, I think that was the last big step for Peyton Pritchard, and it was a really good step. He's a very efficient scorer. But with George, I just think there's going to be more opportunities. And I thought you made a great point too, Joe, where it's like everybody forgets, like, this guy was an all-NBA player. This guy was third in the MVP. I get it. It's an advanced age for him in the NBA at 36. But this guy's got to be motivated. Like, everybody's laughing at the trade because it's you. If you're Paul George, you're like, wait, hold on. I'm now the laughing stock of a trade because and for the second time in his career, like, basically the Kawhi, Paul George, and I label it as like a package trade because Kawhi said, hey, if you don't get Paul George, I'm not coming here. That's one of the worst trades in NBA history. It helped OKC win a championship. And now he's being mocked again. Like, I think the guy's going to be incredibly motivated. And I think he fits in perfectly with the way that the Celtics want to play. Again, not justifying the trade, but I'm just looking at the player on the Celtics. And I think he's going to get more on-ball reps than he did a year ago, build up more of a rhythm. Because, I mean, knock on wood, he's not going to get suspended again. And the other component is he's not recovering from an injury like he was a year ago. So I think he's going to average somewhere between 18 and 20 points, which I think will be the second leading scorer on the Celtics behind Tatum.
All right, Brian. I guess, I was going to do a segment here on North Carolina, but I'm not going to. What do you got, Skaz?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Brian's perspective just on one. No, I guess it's not one Jaylen Brown thing, really, but the overall Jaylen Brown thing. Brad Stevens and the Celtics didn't wake up one day and decide they were morons. Obviously, this was something they thought about at length. The point I've tried to say numerous times is that the Celtics just straight up didn't value Jaylen Brown. They don't think he was that valuable. They don't think he was that good at basketball. And I think sending him to Philly kind of, proves that point. Why do you think the Celtics sent Jaylen Brown to Philly? Of all teams, why do you think it was Philly?
So I'd point to something that Brad Stevens brought up in his press conference, but he didn't go into detail for obvious reasons. He didn't want to offend the player. But he talked about, hey, if Jaylen's on the team, he talked about the usage stuff, right? He kept talking about, hey, you can't have 70% of the cap with this type of usage. Like, he has to have a certain level of usage and whatnot. If you look at Jaylen Brown's usage rate last year, he was number 2 in the NBA. He had a higher usage rate than Jason Tatum has ever had. And the only guy ahead of him was Luka Doncic. And the top 5 guys in the NBA was Luka, it was Victor Wembanyama, it was Shea, and it was Kawhi Leonard. All those other guys, and Shea, by the way, was 7th in the NBA in true shooting percentage. All those other guys were at least in the top 40. Those are the top 5 usage guys. Jaylen last year ranked 125th in the NBA in true shooting percentage. Then you go to the postseason where he had 5 more offensive fouls than anybody else in the first round. He attributed that to, and I'm not kidding, I mean, he literally said it. He thought there was a conspiracy against him when everybody can see how he uses the off arm. He literally uses the off arm every time. He didn't have a counter to that. So what I think the Celtics think with Jaylen Brown, I think they believe, and remember, we talked about this earlier too, Joe. They were shopping him at the deadline, or at least listening to offers, like talking to the Warriors about the potential of 4 first-round picks for Jaylen Brown. So I think what the Celtics think about Jaylen Brown, he's not a good playmaker. He's an inefficient scorer. That's what I think they think of Jaylen Brown. I think they think, hey, he's not worth that type of contract. And then you get into the whole situation of, well, he's eligible for a 2-year extension into his mid-30s. We don't want to give him that. We want to turn the keys back over to Jason Tatum. How is he going to be sort of going back to the role that he was previously? Because you go back to the playoffs, the first 6 games of that series before Tatum goes down, it was back to the Jason Tatum show. Like, Tatum was the guy that was running everything. It wasn't Jaylen Brown anymore. So I think they look at it and they just think he's an inefficient, high-volume scorer. Now, I'm not saying I totally agree with that. I'm just saying I believe that's what the Celtics think. And I also think that the Celtics think other guys around the league could have done what Jaylen did last year, given the opportunity, because I think they believe so much in their system of we don't turn the ball over. We are going to win the rebounding game. And they've, by their offseason, they've doubled up on that, right? They went after Mitchell Robinson to up sort of their increase in winning the margins. We offensive rebound and we don't turn the basketball over. We win the 3-point volume. Well, Jaylen's also one of their worst 3-point shooters. So when you look at all those things, it's like, all right, well, he doesn't really fit with what we want to do moving forward anymore. I truly believe that's the case, and I believe they think Tatum is a much better sort of guy to do that. And Tatum had, 2 double-digit assist games in that series against the 76ers. He also had 2 other games where he had 7 assists. So that's where I look at it. I think they just think Tatum is a much better bet long-term than Jaylen Brown is.
So, yeah, that's kind of what you're saying, Skaz. They think that the usage, they can find somebody else and other players to fill his usage instead of the money.
They just didn't value him as much as maybe fans or, the perception is. And I would say, the league kind of proved Jaylen Brown's value as well. The Bucks didn't want him. No one that ever coached Jaylen Brown, Charles Lee, Ime Udoka, the Warriors, they didn't want him. So that's what I just keep coming back to. Sending him to Philly is a tell to me that they did not believe in his value.
Well, remember even Portland? We thought, hey, if he goes to Milwaukee, maybe they can swing like a 3-team deal and send him to Portland. It came out after the fact that Portland wasn't even interested in Jaylen Brown. And I think, Skaz, you bring up the best one. The guy that used to coach him, the guy that coached him in the NBA Finals, in Ime Udoka, that team wasn't interested in Jaylen Brown. So a lot of this has to do with contracts and all that, and it's a more difficult NBA. I think Adam Silver has done more harm than good for the NBA. I think he doesn't care about fans. Like the 2024 Celtics played 2 seasons together. Go back to the Garnett, Pierce, Ray Allen Celtics. They played 6 seasons together? I guess Pierce and Garnett did. Ray left a year before that. Imagine thinking that team would be together longer than the 2024 Celtics based on the age. So based on the landscape of the league and how you have to move on from guys, because this second apron is essentially a hard cap that gives you real punishments in terms of not financially, but basketball-wise. You get draft picks frozen. You can't put together contracts to trade for another player. So it handicaps you from that perspective. But with all that being said, that's why a guy like Jaylen Brown isn't valued, because it's like, all right, well, we don't want to pay that type of money for a guy that we don't think is a super efficient player, and we don't think he should be our number 1 option.
Well, I was going to ask you about, we don't have time, but you can go to the Off the Pike podcast on wherever, Spotify, I see it right now. But we asked you asked the question, who will lead the Patriots in rushing this year? And will Bill Belichick finish this year at UNC? And I think we looked at the schedule and gave a pick for people to go and listen to as well, Brian.
I like it, man. It's a good tease.
It's a big tease. And
look at North Carolina's win total is 4.5. So 5 wins for Bill Belichick would be a successful season. And by the way, I not to spoil it, but I'm on the Travian side of leading the team in rushing just because of Ramondre's history as it pertains to injuries. And he's 5.1 yards per attempt. There's 3 guys in the NFL that were higher than Travion Henderson last year. And they're elite backs like Achane and Bijan Robinson, those type of players. But the Belichick thing, man, it's like I'm almost sad about it. Like it's controversy after controversy. The hubris to think like, hey, Mike Lombardi hasn't coached or been in college football since UNLV in the early 1980s. We're going to make him the highest paid GM in college football. He's got no connections to that world. He had the audacity to call himself, or the team, I should say, the 33rd NFL team. Joe, you know how many guys they got drafted? Zero. And they're the 33rd NFL team, and they had 0 guys drafted. Like, it's just sad. I remember at one point last season, I'm watching college football, I'm trying to find the North Carolina game, and they didn't even have like a normal start time. They started the game at 3 o'clock, and it was one of the ACC non-ESPN games. They were playing at 3 o'clock on the CW. That's where North Carolina was playing football games. That's how bad it was at the end of the season.
It's bad, everybody. It's bad for one Bill Belichick. Go check out the Off the Pike podcast. He's Brian Barrett. Brian, appreciate you, man. Good catching up, and I'm sure when football season comes around, we'll be ramping it back up, baby.
All right, Joe. Great stuff, man. Appreciate it as always.
You got it. He's Brian Barrett, everybody. The Ringer. Good stats over there, and go listen to his podcast, Off the Pike. Some really good stuff there. All right, we'll hit a headline, and then quickly, we got In or Out coming up. So you're going to love that here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Red Sox and A's, 9:40 start. Sonny Gray on the mound tonight. The Patriots, excuse me. Oh, I should mention that Exeter, New Hampshire, has a good little Little League baseball team and could be going the distance. Matt is one of the coaches there. Matt, hello. Welcome to 98.5 The Sports Hub. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we're actually playing. It's 11U Cal Ripken. So not the Little League World Series that goes to Williamsport, but we're heading to Crown Point, Indiana for the 11U Cal Ripken World Series.
Wow. And you guys are from Exeter, New Hampshire?
We are, yes, sir. Straight up 95 from where you guys are.
Wow. So do the kids know about all the corn that's out in Indiana?
I don't think they know much about Indiana. I'm not sure they could find it on a map.
So
but they're just looking forward to the hotel pool.
Oh, hell yeah. 11 years old with a hotel pool. Is there a continental breakfast too?
That's right. Of course, there is. It doesn't get much better than that.
Oh my God, those are what dreams are absolutely made of. So you guys are Exeter, 11 and under, and you're gonna take on teams across the country, or is it a tournament? What do you got?
Yeah, so there's 20 teams. To qualify, you have to win like a local district tournament, then a state tournament, and then you go to a regional tournament. The winners of those regional tournaments go, and then we play. There's teams from Mexico, Curacao, a couple other international teams will be there. And it's the difference between Cal Ripken and Little League. If you're interested, is Little League just plays on a 60-foot base path with no leading until you go to 13. You would go to the big field. Cal Ripken at age 11 goes to 70-foot base paths. They move the mound back a little bit, and the kids can lead. You have to hold runners. They call balks. So it's a lot better baseball than Little League, in my opinion.
Got it. Yeah, because I played Little League in Parkway, and Little League was the 60, and then we went to Babe Ruth, which was the next level. So Cal Ripken's probably in between both of those.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like they move you towards like big kid baseball a little earlier, and it makes the transition to Cal Ripken or Babe Ruth, a little easier.
Probably helps with the pitchers too, right? Is the mound still as long, or do they increase the mound too?
They make it bigger. So instead of 46 feet, they move you to 50 feet for ages 11 and 12.
You know, if you think about the development of the game, it's probably really good, right? Because you go from Little League to playing on a professional mound, you know?
Yeah, totally. I remember when I went to 13, we went from Little League to 13. I was a catcher, and I couldn't throw the ball to second base to start my 13-year season. So big change.
That's awesome. So you guys won locally. It's Exeter, New Hampshire, which exit 3. What is that off of 95? I can't remember now.
Yeah, it's probably about right. It's the second and third exit up here.
Yeah, I go to the Brook Casino, so I know. I see you guys on the signs out there. So when do you guys head out, and how can we follow you guys?
We head out on the 6th. Our first the check-in's August 6th, next Thursday. A bunch of us are driving out, even though it's a long trip. You can follow us. We have an Instagram channel, and we also have a GoFundMe. It's a pretty expensive deal for the kids. So there's a GoFundMe under Exeter Junior Baseball with all the proceeds from that going towards helping kids with transportation and hotel costs. I do have a couple of the players here with me too. I don't know if you want to chat with them at all. What's
one of
the guys?
Yeah, throw one of them on. What's his name?
Yeah, I'll give you Sam Donegan. In the championship game for States, we were down 10-3. We made a big comeback, and this guy hit a walk-off home run to seal it for us.
Oh, Sam, did you give a walk? What'd you do when you walked it off, man?
What did I do?
Yeah.
Dude, I was like very high energy, like throwing my hands up the air. It's definitely one of the biggest moments in my life. Nice.
Did anybody pick you up and carry you on their shoulders?
My dad did.
Yeah, Dad.
For sure.
That's cool, man. What's your favorite pizza out there?
My favorite what?
Pizza. Food, pizza.
Oh, well, my favorite food's probably cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, cheeseburgers.
Nice. What kind of toppings you put on that bad boy?
I really only just put cheese.
So just a plain burger?
Yeah, literally just a cheeseburger.
Okay.
Sam, what about before a game? Do you have any pregame superstitions or anything like that?
Any conditions you said?
Is there anything you do before every game?
All I do is I kind of just say a prayer and just lock in mentality.
Gotta lock in. I like that.
You're locked in, my man. Awesome. Any other players there?
Yes, Ben Warlick, number 2.
All right, put Ben on the phone. Ben! What's up, Ben?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
What position do you play?
Shortstop and pitcher.
Oh, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like pizza?
Yeah, I do.
What's your favorite?
Pepperoni.
Yeah. You ever put hot honey on that thing?
No.
Oh, well, you know what? Do you do anything before a game or have any sort of pregame ritual?
Not really. I just lock in mentally.
You just lock in and hit bombs?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. You ready for Indiana?
Yeah, definitely.
You gonna enjoy the pool there?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun in the pool.
Do you like pancakes?
What?
Do you like pancakes?
Oh yeah, I love pancakes. Pancakes are better than waffles.
Ah, there we go. Hot take. All right, man. Yeah. So anybody else there that wants to talk?
Nope.
All right. Well, put Coach back on. Hey, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys. Yes, sir.
All right, man. What do you gonna feed? What are you gonna feed them out there? Pizza, pancakes, what?
Well, we're gonna feed them everything. They got the hotel's got a special continental breakfast for us, and sure we'll do a couple team dinners, get maybe some steak in these guys for the big games.
All right, you got to tag us on the socials. All right.
I will do that. Thank you very much, guys.
All right. Good luck to
Have a great
the
night.
Exeter Cal Ripken League. Locked in, baby.
Locked in.
Say your prayers and eat your pancakes.
Just a cheeseburger, Joe. Just a cheeseburger.
All right. Well, shout out New Hampshire. Kendra just texted me that she heard that. When the kids come on, you know what? I wanted to ask who's your favorite player, but then I didn't know where to go with that one.
I like his pancakes over waffles take, though. That's a popular one on the night show.
I would take it. All right. Well, thanks, Riley. We're going to do in or out next? Let's do it next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Bat. Patriots played in pads today. Christian Gonzalez was there. Chris Olave is getting paid. And everyone's happy. Headlines are brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance after you move and make the sure bet with DN Van Lines, an approved mover to Department of Defense. DNVanLines.com. Cheeseburger on a waffle. What do you think? Or a pancake? Maybe even French toast. Why not? We'll do in or out next.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed. It's in or out?
Around July 30th. Let's start with some wrestling tonight. Why not? Former world champion Vince Russo believes that Triple H is currently delivering the worst creative in the history of the WWE. Are you in or out, Joe Murray?
Well, I'm out when you said former world champion.
But that's
Vince
what
Russo.
the article says.
No, it's sad. So
Vince Russo not a world champion.
Vince Russo used to be the writer at WWE with Vince McMahon. He helped start the Attitude Era.
Okay.
He left and went to WCW and became in charge and ruined WCW, and one night won the championship himself.
Oh, that's terrible.
So it's like the guy who wrote the play
won
the championship.
He was the star of his own story.
So I have never thought of him
as a world. Well, yes, I'm just reading the headline.
No, technically the headline is right.
Sure, yeah.
I hate it. I'm out. Vince Russo to me he was a talented guy, and he's responsible for some of the best wrestling ever.
Sour grapes, though.
But man, did he screw up WCW, bro? He actually is the one. I don't know if you ever remember this. There was two of them. Remember the finger poke of doom? It was one night.
Captain Insano?
No. But Hulk Hogan finger poked Kevin Nash.
I do not remember the finger poke of doom, you called it?
Yeah, finger poke of doom. And then Hulk Hogan won the championship. Well, there was a match that Hulk Hogan used his creative control. His creative control means I'm not going to lose to this guy. And basically, there was a match between Jeff Jarrett, Jeff, Jarrett, and he laid down before the match started, and Hogan was pissed. And then he stepped on him 1, 2, 3 and got the belt. And then basically he called out Vince Russo for it, and then Vince Russo went in the ring, and we never saw Hulk Hogan ever again in WCW after that. So he got rid of Hulk Hogan, but he also called out Hulk Hogan for using his creative control. And then they had a match, Booker T versus Booker T versus Jeff Jarrett for the title. That's how Booker T became the first time champion ever. So is Triple H the worst, guys? No. Out. I also think Triple H has like 900 people on the roster. And, dude, he has, like, these stakeholders telling him what to do. If they're like, hey, Dan Hossen's getting over, you got to put the title on him, he has to write a story to put the title on Dan Hossen. But I do find it funny the guys who told us to suck it are running wrestling. Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Next.
All right, Joe, let's head to the world of Madden for this next one. Christian Gonzalez in the news, obviously, a lot lately with his contract negotiations. Cornerback rankings in Madden came out today. Christian Gonzalez, the number one cornerback in Madden. In or out?
I think the rankings themselves I'm out on. I think Patrick Surtain is the best defensive back in the league because he is a inside-outside corner. I think Singletary's up there, too. Gonzalez is great.
Very good.
He's probably right up there. Number one. I'm not going to say out. I just don't like the list of rankings. Like Witherspoon was 6.
Take him on my team any day.
Me too.
Yeah.
So any of those I would take on the team. I'm not going to say out. But 98, I mean, maybe people think more. Maybe the league thinks highly of Christian Gonzalez.
Can't hurt contract negotiations.
That's right.
Joe, were you a fan of Clueless?
The show?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, as if.
The Clueless sequel series is moving forward at Paramount Plus. It will be a 6-episode limited series with Alicia
Silverstone?
Alicia Silverstone returning as Cher. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
Oh, this is an in. Oh, in. Is Paul Rudd in it?
Let's see if I can get a cast for you.
The guy Murray, he was on Scrubs. The father in Clueless was always the dad in every rom-com. Alicia Silverstone also in the Crying video by Aerosmith. I was crying when I met you. Now I'm dying to forget you. Your love is sweet misery. They stole a car. His daughter was also in the video. Liv. You know, remember her? Liv, Tyler? She was in...
Was she in Friday Night Lights?
I don't know. She was in Lord of the Rings, though, and she got married Aragon. And her dad was Mr. Anderson from Mr. Smith in Matrix. And he was an elf. And the elf had a daughter, and they could tell the future. Did you know that?
I did not.
You never saw Lord of the Rings?
I mean, yes, but...
You don't remember how he used to
the
always...
connection there.
He could see the future, that he was already dead.
Yes.
And she goes, don't marry him, he's going to die. But he ended up becoming the king. Spoiler alert.
I think you're safe on Lord of the Rings.
It's been like 25 years, right?
Yeah. Early 2000s.
Aragon was the king.
Hunk. I'm talking about a hunk.
Oh, my God. Have you ever seen Green Book?
Oh, with, yes.
That's him.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen, yeah.
Viggo Mortensen's definitely a great actor. In on him. He was like a wise guy who became a driver. Next.
All right, Joe. We got some LeBron news today.
I'm already out.
Yeah, well, I think you're really going to like this one.
What pisses me off? You know how people say... I didn't mean to catch up. They're coming out with a decision for LeBron.
LeBron James and ESPN are closing in on agreement for a behind-the-scenes documentary series that will be similar to Michael Jordan's The Last Dance.
Out. You know why? Why does LeBron have to do everything that Michael Jordan does? If Michael Jordan was in Space Jam, why does LeBron have to do Space Jam? Why? And then for all the people who say, "Oh, Tatum's such a poser, he copies everybody," look at this jerk.
The one thing we all wanted LeBron to copy Jordan in, he didn't do. The dunk contest.
Or that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The championships, obviously. But, the one thing fans, even fans who weren't rooting for LeBron wanted him to do was the dunk contest. And Jordan did it. Yep. Never did it. Big out on that one.
Out. I don't want a last dance LeBron. I've seen enough. What are we going to do, a 30 for 30 on the bubble?
I also saw Matt Ricardo saying, well, we don't know when LeBron's last season's going to be, so don't call it a last dance. Okay.
Great.
Joe, let's head to the LPGA Tour for this one. Charlie Hull making some waves this week as she pranked her caddy with a $100,000 winning scratch ticket. Are you in or out on a golfer pranking their caddy with a $100,000 winning scratcher?
I'm out, but she better have paid up. You give me a scratch ticket and it's fake, I better get some compensation.
You can't do that to somebody who works for you and makes significantly less money than you.
That I would. Is that a hostile environment?
I mean, you would hope they're extremely close. A player-caddy relationship normally is, but I don't think you can do that. That's not a good look.
Imagine the emotions. What if they had a heart attack?
Felger does that to me. I'm upset, Joe.
You better get you a pontoon plane. Forget about the boat. A puddle jumper. He better just give you one. So every time you leave here, you can just puddle jump back to Taunton. Is there water out there?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So you're out on this.
I hate this. Out.
All right, Joe. We'll end with this one as we have our good friend Mike Kadlick waiting. Joe, Alex Earl getting her own reality show on Netflix, Earl Meets World. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Alex Earl getting her own show?
In. You know why?
You like the name.
Will Tom Brady be there?
Oh, Joe Murray, always thinking. Great point. In. Well, maybe we get some weird Brady hitting on a, whatever she is, 20-year-old. You can follow in Belichick's footsteps.
Is she friends with Sydney Sweeney?
I could not pontificate on Alex Earl's friend group. I don't know. I don't know much about Alex Earl.
In. I'm in on this one.
Why not?
All right, we'll talk a little footsie. Not soccer. Padded football. We'll do that next with Mike Kadlick of SI and CLNS next on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the
Patriots training camp continues. Before we do that, I know the Sox are going to throw first pitch in about 10 minutes or so. Bally's pick of the night, Wilson Contreras to have a walk minus 101, essentially even money. I don't know when the books are going to catch on to me, but I keep doing it, and it keeps hitting. So Wilson Contreras to have a walk, minus 101 tonight. My Bally's pick of the night. I lean under 10 runs tonight. And I think Sonny Gray is going to have one of his sunny days. Well, it wasn't sunny over in Foxborough today. And that's where our next guest, Mike Kadlick of SI and CLNS, joins us here on the Sports Hub. Mike, how are you, bud?
I'm good. You got me on the dual screen looking up some odds now. I kind of want to take Wilson Contreras to have a walk tonight and follow you.
I don't know why I've taken it like 4 nights in a row and it's hit.
All right.
And just going to keep riding it. And I feel like at minus 101, it's worth keep doing it. If it was like minus 180, I'd be like, all right, I'm out, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. You don't want to lay that much. But, I mean, if you're sitting at around even money a little less, you might as well ride, right?
Just remember, hit by pitch doesn't count. It's got to be.
It doesn't? Okay.
It's got to be 4 balls.
Okay.
A lot of balls on the football field today. I was checking out you and Taylor Kyles.
Okay.
And you were surprised that Christian Gonzalez was on the football field. I was surprised they practiced rain or shine. Your thoughts on both of those things happening today?
Yeah, I mean, practicing in the rain didn't surprise me that much. Vrabel spoke before practice and said that could be, a way to get used to the, the inclement weather. They obviously have to play through, snow and all that nonsense up in New England. So, and you got to play obviously in a rainstorm anyway if it comes. So that didn't surprise me as much as the Gonzalez thing really is stunning to me. It doesn't make much sense at all that he's continuing to put himself on the practice field. And it's a good look, right? I mean, if they are truly negotiating in good faith, which it doesn't really seem like that's the case with Robert Kraft coming out and trying to shoehorn him into the signing the deal is going to make him the highest paid. And, the comments on Monday and Gonzalez said the other day that, he doesn't want to do this in the media and they want to keep it in-house. So there seems to be some clashing there. And that just makes me even more surprised that he continues to put himself in harm's way. Now, he's had a great camp so far. He looks like their best defender, which we all know that he is. And that's something new for Gonzalez. He hasn't been great to start training camps, since he's been here. And so that's promising. And he's mentioned as well that, he wants to be a captain this year and he's trying to be more vocal and he continues to want to be a leader. And so I think that may be part of the reason why he's gone out there. But I mean, Joe, there is so much money on the table for him right now. He's still on a rookie deal. I know he gets paid, paid well as the 17th pick and, has a 5th-year option coming up. But there's life-changing money, $30+ million a season on the line. And just last season, he went out there and he strained his hamstring on the second day and missed almost the first 3 games of the year. And so if he goes and does something worse, God forbid, in a rainy day like today where he could easily slip and fall and have a non-contact injury, I understand that maybe there's some sort of wink-wink, nod-nod handshake agreement. That would be the only thing that makes me think, maybe he's okay with going out there. But even if he does get hurt, they can rip up the contract tomorrow. There's no ink on the contract. So it's stunning to me. I don't think it's necessarily the wisest move. It's obviously his right and his prerogative to go out there and practice with his teammates, and it's maybe a good look for those guys, but if we're all for, player empowerment and guys getting their money, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me that, he's gone out there and put himself in harm's way.
So the reason why I'm not making this a story, Mike, is because you pay corners like this no matter what.
Sure.
You just give them the money because there's a history of these guys who sign their contract, and if they have to trade him, they'll just get a first-round pick for him, right? I mean, Sauce Gardner got 2, right? Jalen Ramsey's been traded how many times? Trent McDuffie just got traded. So I guess my thought is, how did you feel about Kraft telling the media this? I didn't think of it at the time when he said we're going to make him the highest paid Patriot. I just kind of went with it, but maybe it did upset Christian Gonzalez. I'm not trying to make that a story. I'm just throwing it out there. The other thing is there any other corners that could come up next, and is that a reason outside of Witherspoon for Gonzalez to wait?
I think honestly, Joe, I think the Witherspoon, I know you said outside of Witherspoon, but I think that is the big one here. And I think that could be why Kraft made those comments. And this is just me sort of speculating here, is that, okay, we gave him the offer to be the highest paid corner. That would in turn make him the highest paid Patriot. So that's on the table right now. You can sign it if you'd like, but maybe Gonzalez is holding out because, and it's strange too, because him and Witherspoon have the same agent, so they're going through the same kind of stuff. It's similar to like when Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo were going through their nonsense. Here, Don Yee was their agent, so he kind of knew everything and had all the answers to the sort of back and forth test they were going through. And so my thought there is, okay, Kraft says that because it's on the table. Maybe Gonzalez is waiting until Witherspoon signs so that then Gonzalez will be the highest paid cornerback for longer because he's going to beat him out by, $1 million APY or something like that. So, I mean, it's the ego thing it's not a Gonzalez thing. It's across the board in the sport where, you want to be the highest paid player, but at the end of the day, it's going to reset for Gonzo or Witherspoon. It's going to reset within days or weeks. For quarterbacks, it resets every season. We just saw, Jalen Carter signed as the highest paid defensive tackle, and now all of a sudden Leonard Williams is back in negotiations with the Seahawks. And so that's ever changing. But to me, I think it was Kraft saying, okay, we're going to pay you. It's on the table for you to sign. What are you waiting for type of thing? And the reason is in my opinion, that he's trying to wait out Witherspoon to try and become that true, highest paid corner for just a little bit longer.
All right, Mike Kadlick joining us here on the Sports Hub. Mike, I always love the first day of pads because there's always those kids that look good, maybe just in a helmet and running around or down at the playground, right? They always look good, but things are different when you wear pads.
Definitely.
And I found it funny that, people were kind of down on A.J. Brown early on, but the one that people were most down on was Kyle Williams. And once the pads came on, was he the guy who stood out the most today?
Yeah, I would say Williams and then Brown as well. Which, like you said, it's kind of ironic that happened when those two guys were down in the shells and in the quote unquote lighter days. And then when push comes to shove and it's time to real football, the guys who we were down on sort of started to shine. Now, I will still say the AJ Brown side of this, there still wasn't a great connection between him and Drake May down the field. It was, low red zone, short red zone type plays. And not to take anything away, he can be their top red zone target now. But there still needs to be some additional kinks worked out between those guys, which it's still very early in the offseason, of course. As far as Kyle Williams, I think he had the play of the day early, and then he had the play of the day late, and that outshined the second one, or the first one rather. Patriots already tweeted out a video, but he beat. I believe it was Kobe Minor or Kendall Vildor, one of the cornerbacks. Either way, the second string of corners beat him on a fade route. Tommy DeVito hit him on the back shoulder, and Kyle Williams hauled it in for a one-handed touchdown. So, with all of the Kyle Williams as wide receiver 7 and buried on the depth chart that we saw over the first couple of days, the pads came on and he shined when given the opportunity. So that's exciting. I think it's more exciting because the Kayshon Boutte situation of it all in the wide receiver room, he's been great. I think it would be awesome if they find a way for him to be on the team. At the end of the day, however, I just don't know if it's going to happen. I think the room is too crowded. I think he wants and deserves, a better opportunity than what he's going to end up having here after what happened last season. And, he was one of their, if not their best deep threat, and Drake May's, number one target at some points. And so obviously behind Stephon Diggs. So yeah, long story short on that, Joe, Kyle Williams looked solid today. I think it was impressive and it was good to see, just given how, how not great he was over the first couple of days.
All right, Mike, outside of Drake May, what is one player that the Patriots can't afford to lose this season?
Ooh,
My answer, just so you know, is Hunter Henry.
Okay.
And I was going to ask you about Reardon, but the reason why I say Henry is, dude, I don't think they have a capable tight end after him.
So I would say Eli Reardon has looked, again, when the pads came on today, he looked really good. And even the last day of non-padded practice on Tuesday before yesterday's off day, he looked solid as well. And we spoke with him after practice. and he talked about how over the summer and into the start of training camp, everything sort of started to click for him over the last couple of days, and things are slowing down and he's starting to understand the offense, and that's really promising to hear for a position that outside of quarterback at tight end in this McDaniels system is one of the hardest to learn. There's a lot of there's a lot of extension in the run game that you have to work on. You need to be on the same page as the quarterback for some of these option routes across the middle, things like that. So Raritan's looked good. I think it's tough still to it's tough to rely on a rookie tight end in that situation, but he's looked as good as you could ask for through this point in camp. But if you lose Hunter Henry and he is your number one guy in the room, then that obviously changes things. It would be nice for him to be able to work off Henry, learn from Henry, and not have Henry, God forbid, be out for the season or whatever if we're talking about losing guys to injury. The position I would pick, Joe, however, the player, is Draymond Jones in the edge room, because outside of him, you're looking at right now Elijah Ponder, who was good as a rookie and has been solid so far, but what he is an undrafted free agent from last season who's playing better than what his sort of scouting report or I guess rapport, for lack of a better term, is as an undrafted guy out of Cal Poly. And right now, Gabe Akis is not on the field, and neither is Harold Landry. And Mike Vrabel spoke today about Akis and Landry together, and he said that he thinks Gabe Akis is farther along than Harold Landry. Either way you look at that, to me, Joe, is scary, because on one hand, Gabe Akis, who is kind of a mystery in what's gone on with his injury right now, if he's closer than Harold Landry, that means Harold Landry is in bad shape. And then vice versa, if if we don't know necessarily about what Harold Landry's going on and what's going on there, there's a lot of mystery around the injuries in that room, and it's just a really, really shallow room outside of Draymond Jones. So with those two guys, you bring in a rookie second-round pick in Akis, who felt like a guy who was going to be able to sort of contribute almost immediately when you took him, given how shallow the depth was in the room. He's not out there. Landry's not out there. And if you lose Draymond Jones, then you're looking at a disaster in the edge room.
All right, dude. Anything else at camp? Is anyone that we don't talk about? Someone you're like, hey, that kid maybe makes the team. Is there an undrafted kid? Is there something?
I mean, the running backs room with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion, those guys are obviously ball players, and we knew that a little bit last year, but I still think to this day Ramondre Stevenson is an underrated player. He does just about everything at a high level. He runs the ball well. He catches the ball well. He's great in pass protection. Everyone talks and tries to talk about the fumbles, but he put that away last season early and has been really solid. And then Travion Henderson, same thing. He's got to work on his pass pro a little bit, but that was his bread and butter in college, and it's just taken him a little bit here. So excited about the backs. Lan Larison looks like the third guy. He was a UDFA last year out of UC Davis, and he's sort of taken those third reps. And then the safety room, Joe, I know that it was a big talk after last season heading into this year when they signed Kevin Byard, and Craig Woodson was great down the stretch last year. But those two, I know Byard has been burned a few times in some reps against some of the tight ends, guys like Hunter Henry, but the communication between those two guys is what's going to continue to stick out to me. Safeties coach Scott Booker was working with them one-on-one the other day, trying to kind of get the feel, of the back end of the secondary with those two guys. And I just think that there were a lot of miscommunications in the latter third or the higher third of the field with those guys last year with Jalen Hawkins. So second year, Craig Woodson with a guy like Kevin Byard, who was a turnover machine last year. I'm excited to see what the second year pro and Woodson can do, along with a guy who was just a first team all pro and is almost getting better with age in Kevin Byard.
Mike, it's kind of funny you mentioned the running back room, because I was going to ask you about Jam Miller. I'm a Jam Miller guy. I'm a believer in Jam Miller, and I do think the running backs were a little underwhelming last year at times. You wanted a little more out of them. So are you telling me that Jam Miller is not going to make this roster?
Skaz, I would love it too. I was a big Jam Miller guy at Bama. He was a fun player there. I just, at this point, I don't see it with him. I don't really see it with him or Miles Montgomery, who was the other rookie running back. I know. It feels like it's a three-man room right now with Mondre, with Henderson, and then with Lan Larison as well. I am a Jam Miller truther. I think he could be fun potential kick returner as well for them. They need that right now, as we know. But if you had to ask me today on July 30th and I was making a 53-man roster, Jim Miller would not be on it.
Okay. And, of course, they have Jennings as well on the NFI, so he's always an insurance policy. One last one for you, Mike. We just saw that Deebo Samuel re-signed with the 49ers. It's a one-year, $7 million deal. What do you think Stephon Diggs would get right now?
I mean, if you're looking at not a direct comparison, but looking at what's left out there on the market, right? I mean, Keenan Allen's out there, Stephon Diggs as well. Deebo is an interesting one because this almost feels like an answer for San Fran after they seem like they may be losing Ricky Pearsall for a little while, if not the year. I feel like I saw someone from 49ers camp today mention that, they wouldn't be surprised if he was done for the season after him re-aggravating his knee. So that felt like a reactionary move, but that's also what all of these guys are going to be at this point. You lose someone goes down, you bring him in. And so Deebo signed for 1 year, $7 million. I could see Steph Diggs getting, double digits, $10 million for the season. I don't think it's going to be a multi-year thing. But I mentioned him a little bit earlier. Like, he was really good for the Patriots last year. And, there's a lot of off-field stuff that we don't necessarily need to get into, but I feel like that's kind of maybe hanging over his head still. But he was good for the role they asked him to play last year. And I think if a team does end up needing a wide receiver down the stretch here, I think he'd be a viable option. So just looking, I would give him a little bit more money than what Deebo did. Deebo had 720-something yards last year, I think I was just looking. And Steph Diggs, as we know, was over 1,000. And so I think Diggs is a better player. I think they're around the same age. So we'll call it 1 year, $10 million is what my guess were for where Steph Diggs ultimately ends up.
All right, how's big number 74, the first-round pick, look?
The one thing I'll say, Joe, is that I enjoy that even though it doesn't look like he's going to start, they still want to use him in the offense. They want to use him as a sixth offensive lineman, jumbo tight end type of guy. And they're going to want to pound the rock more than they did last year, or more efficiently, if you will, than they did last year. I know that's why they brought Reggie Gilliam in. It's why they brought Julian Hill in as a blocking tight end. That obviously went south with his injury, but if Lomu can make an impact there and continue to learn the right tackle spot and the left tackle spot, which he's been in at times as well, I think he's going to be a solid player. So it's good that it's not going to be a red shirt for him because of the Akis situation too. I don't like the fact that your top two picks, one could potentially not start, the other one we don't know in Akis. So Lomu's been good. I think that's I got no complaints on 74.
All right, dude. I'm not going to be there this Friday, but I'll be there next Friday at camp.
Next Friday. All right. Sounds good. Are you on radio?
I'll be on midday with...
Midday?
I don't know who, but I'll be there.
All right. Well, I'll come say hi.
Come by and say hello, and
of course,
hopefully can stop at Lambert's on the way home.
There you go. Let's do it.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. Good talking
Thanks, Joe. Good to talk to you. I think I missed the deadline here on Contreras, but I hope he gets a walk for you.
Hey, live bet boost on DraftKings if you want to use it. It's there.
All right. I'll take a look. What was the other one? You like the under 10?
Under 10.
All right. I'll live bet that one as well.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
Bye, guys.
you, buddy. Take care. He's Mike Kadlick, everybody. And now I forgot about my live boost. I really want to live boost someone to go deep. Like a huge, stupid number.
The little guy in the little ballpark. I don't know. What's the numbers? Monasterio's been swinging a good bat.
Well, since you asked, Skez, the little guy is plus 600.
Really? I would have
Sadan, 700.
I thought that would have been a little juicier for the little guy.
Yeah, not a lot of juice.
Not as much juice as I would have liked.
Durant, 450. Monasterio, 500. Yoshida. Little ballpark, little guy, huh? I'm going Durant. Why not? He has a good history against this guy. Durant stinks. He can't hit. He has to contribute somehow, some way. Live bet. Jaron Durant to go deep tonight. Another Bally's pick of the night. Because I'm not here tomorrow, so I'm giving you two, Skaz. All right. Musings, pancakes. Oh, I wanted to talk about, there was a signing yesterday in hockey, and I wanted to relate it to the Bruins. Let's do that next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox and A's right now. No score in the first inning. Sox go down 1-2-3, and, well, Sonny Gray. Clint Celebrini. He's got an 8 years, $94 million. It's a lot of money. He's going to get $18 million a season. If you look at the annual average of players, David Pastrnak will make just over $11 million for the next 5 seasons. Exactly at 11 every year. So, we mentioned Celebrini's extension, right? Leo Carlson, $18 million a year. Kaprizov, $17 million. Connor Bedard, $15 million. Leon Draisaitl, $14 million. Jack Eichel, $13 million. Austin Matthews, $13.2. Nathan McKinnon, $12.6. Connor McDavid, $12.5. Kyle Connor, $12 million. Mitch Marner, $12 million. Mikko Rantanen, $12 million. Jason Robertson, $12 million. Elias Peterson, $12 million. Igor Shesterkin, $11.5. Eric Carlson, $11.5. Martin Nikas, $11.5. William Nylander, $11.5. And coming in at 18, David Pastrnak, $11.25. It's not every once in a while we credit Don Sweeney, but that's a hell of a deal. $11 million for the next 5 years. If I said, hey man, you're going to make $11 million for the next 5 years, you'd be pissed. Look at that. I mean, at some point, he's probably going to be, 25th, 30th in highest AAV? In those 5 years, if he gets 30 goals a season, he'll have another 150 goals. Now I got to look him up. David Pastrnak, hockey reference. Because I keep saying I think he could be one of the best goal scorers of all time. So right now, David Pastrnak has 420 goals. If he scores 30 goals a season, he'll be at 570 goals, which would put him NHL goal list. So that would put him at, and I'm just looking at it. So Ovechkin's get 929. Gretzky 800. Gordie Howe 800. Okay, so 800 is like you're the best ever. You're awesome. So 420 plus 150 is 570. That's Joe math. 570 puts him behind Mark Recchi all time. What if he has 40 goal seasons in there? That's another 200 goals. That puts him at 600 and change, which puts him with Steven Stamkos and Jerome McGinley. I don't think his career will be over after those 5 years. All I'm saying here is he's going to make $11 million and could be, I don't know, top 15 all time in goal scoring. Again, injury, etc. But this is a home run of a deal. Now, he could get hurt and all that stuff. Him at 11.25 for the next 5 years is an insane deal. Bravo to one Don Sweeney. Justin's in Lynn. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Joe, I have an announcement for you.
Okay.
I am going to be working on Wednesday with Tommy Curran. This Wednesday coming up, I'm going to be working with Tommy Curran on my podcast.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to what?
I said, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that I'm going to be working. I'm back to work on Wednesday. I'm very excited, and I wanted you to know, and just keep your eye out.
That's cool. So you're recording on Wednesday, and then it will be out after that?
Yes.
Awesome. And
Yes.
people can find that where?
NBC Sports Boston YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. I'm proud of you.
Yep.
All right, dude. Well, best of luck, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got
I've been
buddy.
working hard.
Of course you have.
For sure.
You got takes galore, my man.
And, yes. And just so you know, I've been keeping an eye on the reports from training camp. And, it's just, there's a lot going on. And I think there could be some sleepers this year. And one of them is Kyle Williams for me. I want to see how he does.
Oh, a sleeper.
To have a bounce back season.
All right. Hey, do you prefer pizza or a cheeseburger?
I like pizza, Joe, but
Okay.
I do like cheeseburgers as well.
What about pancakes or waffles?
Well, I would have to say, if you make the waffles homemade, I like waffles. I'm out on frozen waffles.
Okay. And you like French toast?
Yes, I do like French toast. I actually like when you put the ham and cheese in the middle of the French toast.
Whoa!
And have a Monte Cristo. I like those.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, my God.
Yes, I like that.
So a French toast with ham and cheese Monte Cristo.
Yes. You put the cheese in the middle, and there's two pieces of ham.
That's awesome, Justin.
Yes.
All right.
I like those for lunch.
All right. Well, tell your old man I said hello.
Yeah. Joe said hello, Dad. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So I just wanted to tell you to keep your eye out, Joe.
Wednesday, Tommy Curran, NBC.
Yeah. 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
You got it, bro. Good luck.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
And if you want to use any of the clips, you're more than welcome to use them.
You absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your permission.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye. This guy has sent me what a Monte Cristo is. Oh, baby.
I was unfamiliar, Joe.
A French toast meets a meaty grilled cheese sandwich in the classic brunch indulgence. Dusted with powdered sugar and served with jam. A Monte Cristo is sweet and savory. It's a comfort food at its best. So you are unaware of this, guess?
Yeah, I didn't know people were putting ham and cheese inside their French toast.
He kind of threw a curveball at me there.
Yeah, I did not expect that out of Justin. He's a cultured man, a well-traveled man.
So you make your French toast. What you do is you take your bread, you dip it in the egg and whatever, then you put the ham and cheese in it, and then you cook it. This is delightful. I'm very interested in this. All right. Well, the Red Sox are underway. I'll tell you what the score is in a little bit. Does Dobby want to tell us what the hour is brought to you by?
Well, which hour was it, Joe?
It's the 9:50 Valvoline. We'll go to break. We'll do musings next. And we got the final hour of the Sports Hub coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studio, the game is on the Sports Hub. Goes to the backhand and scores! Two-hand slam! Boston's home for sports. I love this team. 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
24-hour on-call service for your clogged drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam.
Wow. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Unrelated to sports, so sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's musings here on the Sports Hub. Couple of musings I'd like to share with you. One I teased last night, so I'm going to bring it up now. A man was kicked out of the fully functional crock pot of chili in selling bowls in the back row. Skaz, I failed to see an issue here. Now, if he's selling chili at the theater for money, that might be an issue. You can't use somebody. Oh my God, I might have to do 5 calls, says it all again. Because I have an answer, by the way. What is the weirdest thing you have seen somebody eat at a movie theater? 617-779-0985. What's yours, Skaz?
I have seen like food from home. Like pasta or something. I don't know exactly what it was because it's dark, but I've seen like a plastic bag of food.
2 things I've seen that I one of them, I don't know. Once I saw somebody eating a combination plate from Chinese food.
That's a power move.
It's fantastic. How do you sneak that in? How do you sneak that? How do you sneak in lobster sauce with pork fried rice and boneless ribs? Or a General Gao chicken? This guy brought how do you fit a crock pot in? The other things, guys, sushi. I don't want you eating your Philly roll and dipping it in front of me at the movie theater. Also, your curry, any kind of curry. But you know what? 5 calls says it all. Weirdest thing you've seen someone eat at a movie theater. You can also tweet at me at Joey Murray. But a full functioning crock pot of chili at the movie.
Never mind the chili itself, but the people that are ingesting the chili, that's not exactly a friendly, odor that's going to be coming out of those people in short order.
Do you think you can drop some popcorn in the chili?
You gonna put some snow caps in there or something too,
Ooh,
Joe?
I don't know about that. Chili and snow caps? Ooh. Popcorn and chili though. So that's one.
Are you in or out on the meals at the movies nowadays? That feels like a big thing.
I might have told you this, but I had 2 layovers once. One time I had one in Fort Lauderdale. No, Hollywood, Florida. I had a 4-hour layover. I'm in Hollywood, Miami, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I took an Uber to Versailles, just outside of Miami, in Little Havana, and I ate at Versailles by myself and got Cuban food. I went back, took an Uber back, had plenty of time to spare, and it was fantastic. I actually brought some home with me. There was another time I had a layover in Fort Lauderdale, and I went to the Fort Lauderdale movie theater and ordered food that came directly to my chair, and it was incredible. So normally I don't love the idea of that. It's also, I've done that Lux before. I haven't done it in 15 years. But the Lux movie theater, that's the leather and the nice ones, using Haverhill on movie food. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
So me and my friends once brought in a bunch of Chipotle food from the next door side.
They allow it?
We hid it in our sweatshirts.
So did you have like a Chipotle bowl or burritos?
Some of us had bowls, some of us had burritos.
Did it smell like all the vegetables in there?
I think after a while of us eating it during the previews, I think so, yes.
Did you have any upset stomachs because of that?
No, not at all.
So it was really a comfort food at the movie theater.
Comfort food at the movie theater, then once that ended, we had the real movie food.
Yeah, a chips in salsa or a chip in nachos sounds pretty good at the movies.
Oh yes, but it was just a full-on bowl with a bunch of rice and beans and stuff in there.
Yeah,
all that.
What do you think of the man kicked out of the theater for a full-functioning crock pot of chili and selling it in the back row?
That's weird.
All right,
Steve. That's odd.
Well, I appreciate you listening. Thank you, Steve. Trying to think of something else that I've seen in a movie theater. You probably are familiar with that. Well, it's gone now. I think the Randolph movie theater. But there was a gas station next door, next to the Rick's pub, where I would buy a lot of candy at that place and sneak it in.
What is Joe Murray's go-to movie theater candy?
Well, Scott, since you asked, I don't know the last movie that I've seen in the theater.
Mine might have been Barbie. That's how long it's been.
Wow. So Degenerate Joe would have gotten a slush puppy.
Oh.
But I would have gotten the red and the blue. I would have gotten a large popcorn. I would have gotten an M&M's. And I would have gotten a Sour Patch watermelon. I think I'd be okay.
Sour Patch watermelon, always.
I would then drink the slush. And if I had to use the restroom during the movie, I would run back out. And you know how they have that fountain soda that you can get any soda that you want? Oh, I'd have a field day with those Minute Maid lemonade stuff. I'd try the pink, the yellow, whatever, man. You know what sometimes just hits? A good old pretzel. Hot pretzel. Now, do you put mustard on a pretzel, Skaz?
I'm not opposed to it, yeah.
I like that cheese, that kind of fake cheese that's out there.
In on that, like the nacho fake cheese you get, yeah. It's salty.
The other night when we did a 5-call says it all, we got 5 calls.
Not tonight, Joe.
It's because people don't know. Hooch checking in. Are you sure that wasn't me eating the lobster sauce, pork fried rice, and chicken fingers at the theater? He did send me his food tonight, which was from Ding's Kitchen. I've never had Ding's Kitchen, but I'm interested now. Do you ever get Asian food hunger, like for food like that?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Sometimes I want pad thai and give me that little peanut sauce that's, oh, God. There was another story I had, guys, but I lost it. The other thing I wanted to share is you may have heard us talk about pancakes on the show, and we interviewed Peyton Miller. Peyton Miller is a star player on the New England Revolution. Obviously, the World Cup was just in town. Peyton Miller grew up in Connecticut, Fairfield. And he scored a goal in the previous game for the Revs. They're going to lose him. He is really, really good. But when we had him on the air one day, we asked him, hey, do you have any pregame rituals or whatever? He said that he eats 10 pancakes before every single game. And I've asked everybody, his teammates. And then over the weekend, we were watching the MLS game on Apple TV, and they said that pancakes were banned. Then after the game, the Revs used James Caramazzino's tweet about free the pancakes or whatever. So it felt like we're all in it together. I made a declaration yesterday that for every goal that the Revs score the rest of the season, I'll eat pancakes. I've reached out to the people above, and they said that they may want to do something end of season is what they said, which would be November, Scaz. But we're working on it. Sounds like it's in the works. I had a chance to talk to Peyton Miller today on Nesson, and I asked him about the pancakes, and, well, this was his answer.
All right, man. I've interviewed you before. I asked you, did you do anything before games? You mentioned you like to eat pancakes.
Oh.
The broadcast, just so you were on the field. You had nothing to do with this. The broadcast mentioned that you and Brooklyn Reigns like to have pancake eating contests. Pancakes were banned. I talked to Coach Marco. Coach Marco told me he was cool with it. Who's not cool with it, I guess is what I should say. And why are pancakes banned, man?
Come on.
Like, we got to make this a thing. Every goal, there they are. For every goal, we should be throwing pancakes on the field.
Free the pancakes!
Very quiet, Peyton. What's going on there, Peyton?
Wow. This is a real controversy.
This is a real thing, huh?
Wow.
Can you comment? Come on, at least it's cool, right? Like, you guys, we should be running with this thing, man. Come on.
No, that's funny for sure.
You're
I mean, talk about putting the muzzle on the kid, Joe. What the hell happened with the pancakes?
What's up with everybody pleading the fifth lately?
Well, I see. Well, it's a story for a different day. But Peyton Miller, a talkative fella, social, guy. We've had him on before. Something happened,
He
Joe.
ghosted me.
Ghosted you. Left you on red.
He did say it was funny.
He did say it was funny.
So anyways, something's going on.
Something smelly down there.
Dude, you should have seen the look on his face. He didn't say a word. You know what I did hear about him quickly? There's a potential he could be on the 2030 U.S. soccer team.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility.
He's good, man. MLS, like, for what we see for an 18-year-old kid from Connecticut, is one of the best players on the team. He did also shout out Carles Gil as, like, he's getting these looks because Gil's on the field, But yes, Pancake Gate is real. But what do you think? People throw octopi on the ice.
Why not a couple cakes?
Well, I think from now on, if the Revs score a goal, you throw pancakes on the field.
I don't want to make work harder for the field crew down there.
Yeah, but at least they can get Sarge can say and throw the hotcakes out there.
Might need that sounder just for the show. Sarge saying that.
Oh, we need that. 5 calls says it all. Movie theater food. Mike's in Tampa, Florida. Mike?
Guys, here's the key, right? You have to buy something at the window if you want to sneak something in. Otherwise, you look obvious. So you go up to the window. You get the fountain soda with the all-you-can-eat popcorn, right? But in your pockets, you have a fifth, of Wild Turkey 101, and you have some Sour Patch Kids or whatever candy you like. That's the move to go into the movies. And by the way, the guy with the chili in the back, that's weird as hell.
Thanks, Mike. No, Mike's trying to say at least if you're going to sneak it in and go to the window like that, there are people who don't even go, bro. They just pop right into that theater. They sneak it all in. Have you ever seen someone kicked out of a theater before, Skaz?
I don't think so. I left a movie as a child. My uncle still likes to bring it up. I was scared of Darth Maul, and he brought me to see whatever year that Star Wars movie came out. And apparently, a young Skaz did not enjoy Darth Maul's presence in the movie. So
you just got up.
Apparently, I just got up and left. It's pretty funny.
Where do you go?
I couldn't tell you.
Did you have a movie theater with like video games and all that there, or arcade games?
Not really. Silver City was mostly. They may have had a claw machine or something like that. There was another very small one, and I want to say like East Bridgewater or something. But yeah, Silver City was the staple for the most part.
How do you think our intern Derek's doing tonight?
He's probably waiting right now to go see it.
Do you think he misses us, or he's happy he's not here?
I think I think if Street Team Joe was here, he would miss us a little more, Those two are tied at the hip.
By the way, Street Team Joe.
Some text messages tonight.
Joe's not here because he actually was the associate producer today.
On the midday show.
On middays. And, well, we know that Street Team Joe was gifted some really nice sidwear.
That's true, yes. Tops, not bottoms.
Tops, not bottoms.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you think...
He was wearing, he did look good, but he's wearing Mr. Sid shirts with gym shorts here. And he's like, no one commented on my shirt. It's like, well, because you're half done up.
Yeah. He did look good. I got to he looked... Again, he's going to win that Jaron Duran.
His race with Duran there. Yeah, the battle to 265.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, he texted us tonight that he was eating, what was it, bolognese and mussels.
Yes, we got to go back to this. Okay. So I'll read this verbatim.
Please.
So Haley, his girlfriend,
yep,
and my parents went out to an Italian food tonight. We heard the table next to us talking about 98.5. I asked what show they liked, and they said they are night show people and that they love Joe Murray. I asked if they knew Street Team Joe, and they were like, oh my God, he's so funny. And I was like, that's me. We went on to talk for 20 minutes, and they said my Dobby impression was the funniest thing they've ever heard, especially with Joe Murray's uncontrollable belly laugh. Do you believe it?
I mean, Street Team Joe is a star. Of course I believe it.
I do too.
He would not make up such a tale.
I hurt my belly laughing about Dobby the other night. Is it Dobby or Dobby?
Dobby.
Dobby. And I said, wow, your mom must have loved that. He goes, my mom was so embarrassed. She was like, my son is famous, and she was happy. And I love that. But she was embarrassed about the Dobby voice, though, guys.
And then he went on to say he got bolognese, pizza, and mussels.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's a big three right there.
Bolognese, which is a bowl of pasta with every meat you can think of. Pizza. And mussels? Okay. And that's all I got from Joe. He's probably, he did go out with Haley tonight. So,
I believe he's back on the midday tomorrow.
Back-to-back work paid shifts.
We're moving Street Team Joe up in the pecking order.
So I'm out tomorrow night.
Yes.
It's just you and Matt McCarthy?
I believe that is correct.
I mean, you guys can handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the entertainment in the back sometimes is really curious.
I'll take Street Team Joe any night I can get him.
And then Zeke was here tonight. Zeke works with Felger and Maz opposite of Aurora.
Yes. I believe he will join us at some point.
He gave it 45 minutes tonight and was like, all right, nothing's going on.
No, yeah, it was. Didn't have much for him.
But I don't think he understands that the first 90 minutes of this show is like real sports talk.
I told him he needs to spend a night with Derek and Joe or Riley and Joe.
Yeah.
And then when we have the full crowd.
Yeah, because once, 8:20 passes, the night passes faster. I think you could say. 5 calls says it all. Pete's in Pembroke. Hello, Pete.
Hey, Joe. Don't really have anything related to the movies, unfortunately. I wasn't a big movie goer, but I do need some recommendations from you.
Where are you going?
Yeah, me and my boys are going out to Pat's training camp tomorrow, so we're all going to be meeting up in Somerville. Do you have anywhere for like a good breakfast sandwich or anything like that, or like a quick kind of breakfast? We're meeting up, 6:30.
In the morning. So there's a lot of there's a bakery named Lindell's that if you want to go there, great, unbelievable donuts. They have like the best glazed donut I've ever had. There's a
really,
yeah,
that's right up my alley.
Yep. Ball Square Cafe is very good. There's a lot right in there. I'm trying to think of this one. Sound Bites. It's pretty popular. Yeah. It's open at 7 a.m. That's a pretty good one.
Nice.
But Kelly's Diner is one of my favorites, though.
Kelly's Diner is one of your favorites.
Yeah,
All right, I think
it
maybe
looks
we'll
like
check that one
You
out.
know when they have like the old diner, like silver looking style.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. There's one like that in Lowell too. They have it in like a little, looks like an RV almost or something like that. It's been there for a bunch of years, right on the main street. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. I knew that you're the man to go to for food recommendations. If not, we were thinking of, what's your thoughts on peanut butter and fluff?
I love we used to call them fluffernutters, right?
Yeah, that's what me and my roommates were talking about. That he had never heard it called that.
Just so you know, I used to do peanut butter fluff and jelly.
I was saying the same thing. I like doing the triple threat, but the thing is, you have to eat it right away because if the jelly gets too soggy or hot, it gets soggy and then seeps through. I don't like that.
Correct.
But hey, I love to hear it, and I hope you boys have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Enjoy Somerville and Lindell's incredible donuts if you're on the fly.
Yeah, Lindell's. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to put that in my phone now. Appreciate it, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Catch you later.
5 calls says it all. Movie theater food. Rajiv in West Roxbury. Rajiv.
Hey, my man, Joe. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. It's funny that you were talking about this thing because another radio station also brought up the same thing. So I don't know if they were talking about the same story, but a woman called in and said she once they went to a restaurant and somebody had a full salad from somewhere. Somebody had like a pasta dish from somewhere else. And then she said they snuck in like a bottle of wine in her bra or whatever. And then she said that she once saw somebody else bring in an ice cream cake without any forks and eat that at the theater.
Oh, my God. So out on the salad, I could smell all that stuff on there, the raw onions and the lettuce. Out. I'd be pissed. I'd complain.
I've seen when you were talking about people getting kicked out of theater, once at the Boston Common Theater, somebody was actually lit up a cigarette and was smoking that, and it filled up the whole thing, and so he got kicked out.
Oh, that would, you know what? That's why you got to bring the electronic vape.
Yeah, there you go.
In there. Hey, Rajiv, I'm not sure if it was you, but someone tweeted at me today.
That was me.
It was you. Okay, great. I shared it. That was my takeaway today on Nesson, that anybody, if they were in the area, Cheesecake Factory is giving 50% off cheesecakes today.
Yep, happy National Cheesecake Day. I actually have 2 right here. Just came back from Cheesecake Factory, so brought them for home.
Where'd you go, Chestnut Hill?
Yep.
All right. What kind did you get?
We tried the coconut cream pie one, and also I tried the Reese's peanut butter one here. So sitting right here in front of me. So just try to bite of the coconut one, and it's really good. I know you love the banana one, right?
I'm just a straight banana. I you know what? Oof, right now,
I've got that one.
Right now, I think I want the red velvet right now.
Okay.
Because, any one I eat, you just give it to me, and I'm going to eat it.
Exactly. Yeah, the place was pretty hopping, so everybody was sort of taking advantage of that. So I definitely thought of you this afternoon. I said, you know what? I know you're busy, but I was like, I'll tweet at you.
I appreciate you tweeting me, and if you watch Nesson later on, you'll probably see that was my last call today.
Oh, was it? Okay. No, unfortunately, don't get Nesson, so I'll have to find it online maybe.
YouTube.
I'll definitely look for that. Hey, and heads up for also for tonight. So besides the Cheesecake Factory, I know close to you, you're by a Sonic.
Yeah.
So they're doing again the 99-cent corn dogs today.
Oh, hey, is a corn dog essentially a hot dog wrapped in a pancake?
I would say so. I don't think it's that sweet though, right? Because it's just batter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember down south they used to have it all the time. I was never a fan of it that much, but yeah, I thought of you when I saw the corn dog thing. And then for tomorrow, right? Because we're ending up July, so I didn't mention this. I had mentioned to you about like the dollar margaritas at Applebee's, right? Yeah. The Dollarita. So that ends at the end of this month. But also, one of the things is for the entire summer through 9/11, it's in, I think, like 33 states. Unfortunately, Massachusetts is not one. But Jose Cuervo is giving out free margaritas. So you purchase a margarita anywhere that has Jose Cuervo in it or, any cocktail or a shot, and you just submit your receipt up to $10, and they'll reimburse you if you made a purchase on Friday.
Wow.
The summer, yeah, and then they'll either Venmo you or something else. But it's Massachusetts is not one of the states, but New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and you have listeners everywhere, right? Texas, Florida, Seattle. So, I know the people in the chat. So yeah, you have quite the reach. So yeah, that's one of the things that's happening. So take advantage of that.
All right, Rajiv, enjoy your cheesecakes, bud.
Hey, I will, man. Take care. Good talking to you.
Yep, take care. What is it? I get one margarita and a dun dun. I get two margarita and a dun dun. What was that from? Why am I can't remember what that's from. Get one margarita and a dun dun. Sarko, hello, sir.
How you doing, my brother Joe?
We got you.
What's up? Listen to this. You remember this? 98.5, the Star Trek.
That's right. That's old school, baby.
That's old school, brother. Yes or no?
How you doing?
Doing impressive, right? Like, let me tell you, listen to those impressions were amazing. I was doing the same damn thing. I was cracking up, bro.
Hey, have you ever seen something weird at a movie theater someone's ate?
Listen, now, I had a lot to talk about, and then you brought that up. And it's really funny because we went to clean the office like 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, and like the Leroy Road show was on in the morning. Now I was listening really quick, and but Kendall was in for Sarone, and Leroy, he said he stuck in with his friend a whole pooper platter for two. Kendall said, "I can top you." And she said, I snuck in a whole KFC meal.
Whoa, a bucket of chicken?
Meal. Bro, I'm dead up serious. I listened to that on Saturday morning when we were cleaning the office with my wife, Mimi. By the way, she says hi.
Hi, Mimi.
Bro, the lie, look it up, weeks ago. I forgot, on a Saturday. But anyway, can I tell you something real quick? Shout out to the chat. Man, love to the chat. They're like the underground. They're really like the underground of radio right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in hip-hop, what underground is, the hip-hop. Like, they really keep it going and alive, and they're going to do that. And there's so many people on there, and I just want to know, right? Let me tell you this. Look, I want to tell guys, congratulations on getting married. I don't know when the wedding is. I'm so happy for him.
Thank you, Sarko.
Okay, but I heard, all the stuff. And then I guess Ryan and Malden, I'm going to give a little shout-out to him. He's supposed to reach out to me somehow. I'm going to wait till he does that, you feel me? But Ryan and Marvin's been cool. We've been sending, I like that, because my cousin listens. A lot of people listen. Joe, I got a lot of people listening and watching you, brother. You know that, okay? So Ryan and Marvin, I guess they were talking about doing some fireworks for McColl's wedding. Maybe he can, hook it up for, you know what I'm saying, for Scouts' wedding. That'd be nice, and I'll give him a hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Marvin, so, you know what I mean? Whatever I do is for free. I think he wants to get paid, but, there's one other thing. Can I tell you?
I got you, bro. Yeah, Malden.
Okay. Yeah. So just listen, right? I can't believe you said last night that nobody has ever told you that the Joe Show is the favorite show, their favorite show.
No.
When I told you and my wife told you face to face, and I wasn't hearing that last night. It was clean. I'm like, Joe did not just say that when we told you, right? Nah, bro, you know that. We've always told you that, my brother. And you got it, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're the people's champ, man. Continue being that. And I'm so happy for other opportunities you're having. Street Team Joe, shout out to him. Like, he's doing an amazing job. Oh, my God. Like, everybody and all the interns. You know what? You guys are different. And people need to understand this. They don't get it. They don't understand. It's not, you guys aren't like in the morning show. You guys are totally different. And that's why I told you from the beginning, I said, Joe, I can relate to the show. I love this show because it's not just sports. It's everything, food. You guys just make people happy. You make people you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what they're going through in their life, actually, laugh, feel better, go through tough times. You feel me? And I told you that before. And that's how it's been for me. So I appreciate it, man. You guys continue doing everything you're doing and keep making that money, bro. You're going to get a big bag and a nice stack coming up. And I can't wait till we talk about the Chronic album because you said that was your favorite album.
Chronic album.
Around that time, you have to be like 19 years old, I would think.
It's dedicated to the people that have been down since day one.
Since day one, my brother, you know what it is, man. Man, love, and I'm bringing the energy right now, even though I'm bringing that energy, okay? Because I have to bring it to the people. I've been trying trying to get in for over 2 weeks.
I know.
I called him.
We got you
McCarthy hung up on me. It's all good. But, man, no, you guys have a wonderful evening. God bless everybody, all right? Y'all be good.
Thank
One.
you, Sarko. One love, my man. He made my heart smile, Skess.
Shout out Sarko. Hope things, turn around for him, but glad to, know we can help any way we can, Joe. We love Sarko.
KFC bucket.
That's the most Kendra thing I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't surprise me at all. I'd be surprised if Kendra hadn't snuck something into the movies. Kendra also checking in firmly on Team Waffle earlier in the show.
Yeah, earlier she was
pancake talk.
Dedication to her too. She was like busy in listening to the show, or trying to get busy, or whatever. We gotta go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Dobby.
What are the chances we could get a Dobby appearance on the midday? I figure those guys are Harry Potter guys. They would, You think he'd step up to the plate if he was called upon? I think he would, knowing Street Team Joe.
I think he would too.
I think he would.
He'd rise to the occasion.
He always does. Cream always rises to the top, right, Joe?
That's what Macho Man said.
Of course, after he said,
always rises to the top.
I played myself 3 times, I only won twice.
Well, I think we should let Dobby send us home with our sponsor tonight. But that's it. I'm off. I'm back Monday, guys.
Monday, Joe. Yeah, enjoy it.
I have.
Is it Valvoline or prolotherapy? What do we got? Okay.
But thank you all for listening tonight. It's been fun. Thanks to Brian. Check out the interviews. They were good.
Yeah, Brian Barrett, Mike Kadlick.
Barrett had some good stats. I did a podcast with him you can check out. And Mike Kadlick was at camp, and we got sources on the ground. So, Roman Anthony swinging a baseball bat. We got that tonight. Sonny Gray struggling right now. Wilson Contreras bet hit. Under not looking so great. And the Red Sox are threatening here in the top of the 5th inning. So we get to watch baseball on the way home. And, Andrew Monasterio with an RBI single. Should they go get us infielder?
Apparently on the broadcast, Joe, I believe it was Alex Spear saying they want to add a starter before the deadline is over, but didn't they just trade one?
It's true. And,
but Connolly early might not pitch. I don't know. That whole thing's kind of weird. So
curious to see how Sonny Gray does the rest of the way here if they pull him. All right, we got to get out of here, everybody. Enjoy the show tomorrow night. Matt